forgot to name them. Big Ute is a highling cleric that we found in the game. It's a good name. And, the fact that he has 69 hit points is a coincidence, but it's still a pretty funny coincidence. We've entered the code. Because of your superior intellect and diligence, you have saved Kron and all of its warrants. This ship, created by the ancients, is a grand experiment designed to populate this distant world. Prepare to beam down in Might and Magic 3. It's here, on the floor. I didn't see it. Thank you, my friends. You have banished chaos and rejected the false path of uncompromising order. Under the weight of the evidence and from the skilled pressure tactics of your lawyer, Lucas breaks down and admits to their crime. Congratulations, Ace. I think we're having a real moment here. I've changed my mind. I can't give her up. You can have your money back. How could I sell something so dear? And again, a deal's a deal, right? Right? Catch you later. Good luck. Enjoy. I'm out of here. Let's pick up the bottle of grog here. Pick up the root beer. Use the root beer with the jug. Apparently root beer works very well. We get to see an instant replay. And a view from the blimp as well. I wonder what would happen if I tore the leg off this thing. Ark.
You have a reservation. Madre de Dios, es el cuello diablo. Come on, I'm ready for you.
Yeah. Here it goes.
Enter visualization sequence.
Let's try it in the other order.
Subject code accepted. 6452331 recognized. Beginning message.
Grand experiment of the ancients to use the technology of elemental manipulation to create a completely viable ecological and social microcosm. This microcosm was then to be transported to a distant biosphere, Terra, to supplant its indigenous ecosystem. The need was acknowledged for a central controlling unit capable of compensating for expected anomalies.
Well struck. That looks like a fatal blow.
Yeah, die!
My death will not save you from our wrath.
Are you going to plug me into Link, sir? I hope you know what you're doing.
I have no idea what we're doing. But
Something is happening, I think. Yes, I'm gaining control. I found my destiny, Mr. Foster.
Goals in the middle. Perhaps we didn't even need to know that. The yellow crystal is over on the left side. And the blue one is on the right side. Switch to Annie. Have her pull the lever to close the trapdoor. Have her push the switch on this side. Switch to Zack. Have him push the switch on this side. On our way through this wall. Another mini boss. Hey guys, welcome in. Just getting things up and running here. Are largely ready to go. Hey there, Amiga Gamer, welcome in. Just very quickly switch here. It's back. Yeah, one game a year. Story goes that this version of the game isn't quite as long as game number 6. At least that's the theory. Hope that holds true. Let's since this is mostly going to be a quiet stream, let's hook up some background music. How quiet, I'm gonna be blabbering a lot, but there's not going to be a lot of background music at least. Let's see whether this is coming in or not. Audio output devices. Hey there, Kaluvia, welcome in. Thanks for the biddies, Kaluvia. Nice to see you in here. Are we hearing the... Seems that some sort of Windows update has occurred here, which is, I suppose, not unusual, but what is unusual is that, as per always, it seems to have disabled pretty much everything audio-wise. That sounds about right. But, what isn't right is the fact that it's mono only. So now we need to go combine the channels once more. This is what we want. Device properties, additional device properties. It's sort of funny how there are multiple control panels for every single piece of audio now, and the new ones are all extremely simple and have like very few controls. But if you really need to actually set something, you always need to go to the classic ones. So you have essentially two different panels to set the same things, which is not nice. In Windows 11 it's even worse because you seem to have three panels to do the same thing. That's in stereo now. How nice. Yeah, I'm running Windows 11 on the PC upstairs that the kids are using, and it's pretty horrid. I'm not going to be updating the streaming PC to that anytime soon, and probably at no time at all if I can actually make a choice. Actually have the OneNote document up and running here. Is the background audio too loud, do you think? Should I turn it down a little bit? Sometimes hard to hear it when you have it in the monitor on the speakers. I can hear it, but it might be much louder in my headphones than it actually is on stream. The levels seem about right. Yeah, this Windows 10 PC is okay, but obviously I use a Mac and I use a lot of Linux machines at work as well. So I have lots of different platforms that I use on a daily basis. And this thing like this update is rather annoying because there was absolutely nothing that I've done to set anything differently. Just the computer updated to a new patch level of Windows, and it destroys every single audio interface, and you need to go into OBS and reset everything up again. It's really rather annoying. And, we're finally starting a new game, Might and Magic 3 for Blood and Honor. It ended up being 47 streams of Might and Magic 6. I was pessimistic in the last run. I said it was the penultimate stream, but it turned out to be the ultimate one. I've been waiting a while to start a new game, and this is the manual for game number 7. And we do need to read through the manual. This is that kind of game, and we also need to look at the quick reference card, and we probably need to create a party and set up the capture for the game and so on. I figured we would get a jump start on that tonight, and tomorrow we could start the game properly. Start the game by starting in the game world. This is sort of a prelude to the stream that is going to be tomorrow evening. Zoom out just a little bit here. It's a long manual. It's nearly 60 something pages. I'll go to Might and Magic 7. Might and Magic 7 is a computer role-playing game set in Arithia of the same world as game number 6. A mystical land of magic and adventure. You will guide the actions of a group of 4 heroes. I facing in the wrong direction? That seems right. I wonder if I've done it accidentally. Yeah, that seems about correct. Yeah, that seems right. Looking out of the screen makes you seem like a psychopath, so that's not a good idea. A mystical land of magic and adventure, you will guide the actions of a group of 4 heroes, armored swordsmen, daring thieves, gifted archers, and wielders of arcane sorcery as they explore the land, sea, and subterranean passages in search of treasure and glory. Your party characters will begin their journey possessing only the most basic skills and equipment and are barely deserving of the title adventurer. As they continue, however, they will acquire personal abilities, enchanted artifacts, deadly weapons, and powerful knowledge, all of which they will need to face the greater challenges ahead to one day epitomize a true adventurer. Documentation. This book is the Might and Magic 7 Player's Manual. It contains all the particulars of how to operate the game and specific information about the game world. So if you want to know what skills a monk can learn, what the Incinerate spell does, or how to fire your archer's bow, this is the place to look. The Adventurer's Guide to Role-Playing has general information about computer role-playing in the Might and Magic world and information for a player new to the Might and Magic or to this type of adventure game. In it you will find discussions of basic role-playing concepts. If you find yourself mystified by phrases like character class or armor bonus, you might want to consider reading that guide first. During play, most game objects and interface items will be identified for you in the roll of a test box as you pass the mouse cursor over them. Right-clicking on items in a list like the display of character skills or inventory objects like weapons and scrolls will usually display useful information. Right. Entry 1, 11th of June 1165. Free at last. Never again will I take for granted what it means to bend limb and breathe air. What air do I breathe? What land do I flee across? It is my Enroth, surely, but so much has changed in the 10 years I've been my brother's Kodrak. Made an insensate stone statue by his pet wizard Tanir. If it wasn't for those fool adventurers, I'd still be there now. Tanir, I promise you I will repay the insult one day and repay it with usurious interest. I have started this journal to help me make sense of the chaos of events. I am a hunted man, but I've found refuge in the remote estate of my colleague in the necromantic arts, Nimbus. His apprentices tell me that their master has sailed for Arethia. I wish he had not been wise enough to lead them with so few details. All I can derive is that the Necromancer's Guild has some bold plan for Arethia. Perhaps I should join them. Both my hated brother Roland Ironfist and his loathsome queen Catherine are absent. Roland is, by all accounts, taken by strange demons. Catherine left for Arethia 5 months ago to attend her father's funeral and has not been heard from since. Their brat Nikolai sits on the throne with their Lotus Wilbur Humphrey standing as regent. If only I were in a position to take advantage of things here in Enroth. It is like a widow's sweet berry ripe for the picking. But first I must rebuild. With no nation, it is as if I am once again at the beginning of things. Where are my fellow guild members? I cannot reach them by means mystical or otherwise. If I could only rally them into my cause. The apprentices are no help. They are content to work their crude exercises. Amateurs, what endless pride they take in their zombified rats and mice. Bah, the only useless things fall apart inside of ours. Pathetic. I really must have a talk with their master. Surely he's neglecting his role as a teacher if his students perform so poorly and expect my delight. The other day I observed one of them fumbling a basic cantrip. One of his so-called advanced initiates. I couldn't believe it. I'm forced to the sad conclusion that either the student or the master was a complete incompetent. I hope for Nimbus's sake that he had an unusually bad string of luck in finding quality apprentices. Entry 37, 23rd of October 1166. I find myself aboard a fast and sturdy ship bound for Arethia. How strange are the events that compel me to leave behind my native land. Nimbus returned to his estates, bringing with him a small party of necromancers, apparently all of any power that remained in Enroth, that he was gathering to take Deia in Arethia, so that he might serve the Leech King, Nicholas Griffinheart. Yes, that Griffinheart, Catherine's father. The Arethian Guild has made a bold and perhaps foolhardy play for power. The guild leader and king of Deia, Deathnell, sought to take the Arethian throne by assassinating Griffinheart and then reanimating him as a leech bound to his service. He got as far as the reanimation, but the binding did not take. Instead, the leech killed Deathnell. Now Arethia and Deia have a new king and the guild has a new leader. Now Griffinheart has called the Necromancer Guild to his aid, and I and the Necromancers of Endor are heeding the call. He fights his daughter Catherine. That is a cause I can hearken to indeed. Incidentally, this little mission is now my mission. I took it from Nimbus in the Guild Challenge of Dominance. Needless to say, I won. I wasn't surprised by my success, but rather at the ease of it. Really, if Nimbus's powers are any measure of the state of the necromantic arts these days, clearly the guild has lost much of its wherewithal since my day. What we need is a systematic program of research, one which will reinstill in us the vigor of the past. It is hard to believe that this is the same guild of Hendelal or Neverneath. Those luminaries would never have let things become as they have, were they still around. Perhaps it is my destiny to restore our power to its former glory. This is a real nutcase. Entry 143, 5th of August 1167. Reversals within reversals within reversals. That is the way it goes for the fortunes of kings and would-be kings these days, or so it seems. In her victory speech, as it was reported to me, I was to be sure nowhere near. Catherine made much ado about stability. True, the dark and wild forces who had wronged her father so were defeated, and her father now lies in the state of natural quietude he deserves, and the people of Arethia can lay down their swords safe in the knowledge that peace reigns instead of terror. Oh, let her think all that if she wishes. Let the peasants think it too. That can but help my cause. For as the leech Griffinheart replaced Deathneo, so have I replaced Griffinheart. Catherine faces a more devious opponent than me. What my predecessors used like a bludgeon, I will use as a tailor's needle. The Necromancer Guild under my leadership will enter a golden age of advance. Even now our new laboratory of research is producing new knowledge, and as knowledge is power, so will ours and my powers grow. But all plots must begin somewhere or remain formless. Perhaps my seed of discontent will root in those fertile disputed lands. Time will tell, and the telling will be against my brother and his wife. So swear I here, Archibald Ironfist, Guildmaster of Necromancers, rightful King of Enroth. Things are not looking great for the Kingdom of Enroth once again. The startup menu, the new button will start the game from the beginning. This will take you to the create party screen where a party of 4 characters is already set up. If you want to start with these characters, click the OK button, or you can customize them to your liking and then click OK to begin. We'll probably set up the party later. It's probably the last thing we'll do before we depark the game and wait for tomorrow. Load. If you previously saved games, you can return to that time and place by clicking the load button. The load game dialog will appear. Clicking on names on the list of saved games will show a thumbnail image capture on the adventuring window at the moment the game was saved. Below this picture will be a time and date stamp. Click the load button to load the selected game, or the cancel button to cancel, and return to the startup menu. All in all, this is all very similar looking as game number 6 as well. credits, click this button to display a list of the people responsible for bringing you Might and Magic 7, and exit, click this button to close the program. Party creation. Right, we have the portrait selection arrows and the voice selection arrows. We can of course pick a portrait for the character. It seems that we can also pick a voice for each portrait. As I remember in game number 6, when you selected the portrait, you also selected the voice, so each particular portrait had a particular voice that was included with it, and you couldn't really change that, so that at least gives you an opportunity to pick an avatar that you like and then pick a voice that you like as well to go with that particular avatar. Of course, you can see the race here, human, elf, goblin, or whatever it is, and the attributes, the name of the character. The current attribute is highlighted by the arrows next to the attribute itself. Then you can see the list of 4 skills. And as I remember, you had a predefined list of something like 9 skills that you could choose from to start with, of which you could pick 4 for each character. They were different for each character, probably depending on the race and the type of character as well. Then you had the bonus points, and the way the bonus points works is that the game pre-rolls the characters, and you have a certain set of attributes that have certain values, and you have something like 50 bonus points, and you can distribute them among the different attributes for each character, and you can also reduce them, as I remember, by 2. So if you had a character that had a primary statistic of the knight, for example, if he had 18 might, you could take that down to 16 and use those 2, and they would be added to the bonus, so you could use them for different attributes for the other characters. It's fairly important, since much of the game is about boosting those abilities. It's fairly important that some of them remain largely the same. Speed is always a good attribute, but in general you want the primary statistic of the character to have at least probably a value of 18, which is a good starting value for that. Then you want a decently high endurance, so they have a decent amount of hit points to start with, and they gain a decent amount of hit points. And then you need at least semi-average accuracy and speed for all of them. And once you've if you take the bonus points and apply them evenly, so that the primary statistic is pretty much 18, they all have a good endurance, something like 15 or 16, and they have an accuracy and speed of a decent value, something like 9 or 10 at least. 9 would be half of the 18, but a 10 probably better idea, and you have a decent character, and then you can rely on enhanced items and enhancing their abilities to get further. And the way the game works is that you usually find those along the way. You get +1 or +5 or whatever you get to all of them, so if you align them equally at the start, they will become equally strong, which is a good idea. Of course, some characters get better items that boost the abilities, so you can find rings that boost the speed up to something like +20. So if you have a character that is very low in speed, you can always boost it, but at least having a non-single digit number for a starting figure is a good idea. The game you control the actions of a group called a party, consisting of 4 characters. Each character is a person with his or own strengths and weaknesses, vocation and skills. While you can play the game using the default party of characters, you can also create a custom party with the create party screen. If you get to the screen by mistake, hit the escape key to return to the startup menu. While customizing your party, you work on each character one at a time. Choose the current character by clicking within the column containing the portrait and statistics. When you do so, the character's portrait border highlights. You can then choose that the character's appearance, race, class and name. You will also assign each character's starting skills and adjust their attributes by distributing a pool of bonus points. Basic operation, change the character's portrait, click the portrait selection arrows to cycle through the available character portraits. What portrait you choose for a character will set their gender and race, human, elf, goblin, or dwarf. Change the character's voice, click the voice selection arrows to hear available character voices. Choose a character's class, you can change the currently selected hero's class by clicking on the name of a new class in the class list. Change the character's name, click on the name to erase it, the text cursor will appear in the name box, type in the new name and press enter to keep it. Right, give a character skills. A character has 4 starting skills, 2 of these will be set by what class you choose for the character, but you must assign the character their other skills. To choose these additional skills, click on their names in the list of available skills. Which skills are offered will be different for each character class. If you want to choose a different skill for a character than one you've already assigned, remove the unwanted skill by clicking on its name in the character skill list. Adjust character attributes. You have a pool of 50 bonus points which are used to adjust the character attributes. Click on an attribute to select it, then raise or lower its value by clicking the plus and minus button, flanking the bonus pool display. Right. Finish when you're satisfied with the party, click the OK button to start the game. You must have assigned skills to all of your characters and distributed all your bonus points. Okay. Character statistics and their effects. Might is a measure of how physically powerful a character is, how strong they are. A character with high might attribute will do more damage in combat. Fairly obvious that one. Intellect, how smart a character is, how able they are at problem solving and understanding abstract concepts is measured by their intellect. Characters of classes that use elemental magic get more spell points if they have high intellect ratings. Sorcerers, archers, rangers, thieves and druids use elemental magic. A druid is a bit of a problem in this regard because the druid is essentially both a sorcerer and a cleric. So for a druid you want both of the intellect and personality to be rather high. And since we had a druid archer in the party last time, so for the druid archer there are really at least 3 that you want to be decently high. Accuracy for the bow, intellect for the elemental magic, and personality for the clerical or self magic. Now, personality measures a character's personal will and level of charm. Clerics, paladins, rangers, monks, and druids, those character classes that use magic of the self, get a spell point bonus if they have high personality scores. Now, endurance is a measure of how physically tough a character is. Characters with high endurance get a hit point bonus. It's basically what we want. Accuracy, the accuracy attribute reflects a character's hand-eye coordination. A high accuracy rating gives a character a better chance to hit with a hand-to-hand and ranged weapons. This is obviously something that we want in at least the druid and the paladin, and technically what we want for all of them, but we have to abide by the points that we have in the pool and try to adjust them for what we can actually realistically do. Speed is a measure of how quick a character is. Faster characters are able to perform more actions in a given amount of time and recover more rapidly from actions they perform. This is good, and eventually becomes very important, and is a major factor in things like disarming. So and as well in recovery of weapons, it becomes very apparent when you have something like the blaster very late in game number 6 that speed is very important, and it also has to do with the order the party gets to fight in when you have it in turn-based mode. Now, luck has a subtle effect on many actions that characters perform. Its most visible effects are that characters with high luck attributes have a better resistance to magical attacks and take less damage or trigger traps, but it also has an effect on things like disarming. So luck is a generally good attribute for everyone, and in general the accuracy, speed and luck, you want that to be set to a decent value, at least a 2-digit value for everyone, whereas you want the might, intellect, personality to be set based on the character class to a much higher value, so that the primary skill of the character is fairly high. So class skills are characters' class affects what skills and to what level of expertise they can learn. As characters achieve new rank in their class, see promotion, they may be able to learn some of their skills at a higher level of expertise. Now, we had no idea how this system worked when we started playing game number 6. I've never played the games after 3 in the series. But I've learned a lot about this system through playing game number 6. And I already started a new playback of 6, just using what I know, and I've gotten far further in like 2 evenings than I did in the first 5 streams. So one does learn. Skill table legend. B. Characters of this class and rank can learn the skill up to a basic level of expertise. E. The skill can be learned up to expert level. M. The skill can be learned up to a master level. And GM. The skill can be learned up to the highest grandmaster level. This is new. In 6 you only had... obviously everything starts with basic, then you had the expert and the master, but the grandmaster is something that's been added to this game probably. We haven't seen that before. So the Knight, Cavalier, Champion, Black Knight and Thief can learn none of the magical skills. The Rogue, the Spy and the Assassin can learn the Fire, Water, Air and Earth or the elemental magic up to a basic level, so they can't become an expert in it, but they can cast some basic spells. Wish I could say I had a paper manual. I have a paper manual for game number 2. It's a good game, good manual. And I've lost the box that I had for Might and Magic 3 on the Amiga. I have the disc. I think they're broken, but I have the discs, physical discs, but I don't have the box. Now there seem to be multiple levels of the monk. There seems to be initiate, master and ninja types of monks. I'm assuming that has something to do with hasn't really been explained to us how that works. But I'm guessing we progress as we finish the quests. And, it seems that a master monk is able to become an expert in the spirit, mind, body spells, which are the clerical spells. And so was the standard a crusader paladin is able to get to the expert level as well. And a hero paladin or a villain paladin, I'm assuming that depends on which path you choose, is able to become a master in the spirit, mind and body, and a master in either the dark or the light magic, depending on whether he's a hero or a villain. So that's a path choice, obviously. In game number 6 we weren't able to, the paladin was never able to learn the dark and light magic. Perhaps we weren't leveled enough, but I don't remember this chart being in the manual. It's actually very useful. Now the archer can learn up to a basic level, but once he's on warrior mage he can learn up to the expert level, and the master archer can become a master of the elemental magic and can study basic light magic, or if he becomes a sniper he can study basic dark magic. The archer is okay, that's interesting. Then you have the ranger. It seems the ranger can only learn up to a basic. He can become a hunter that basically leaves him the same, and he can then become either a ranger lord or a bounty hunter, and at which point he can become an expert in both the elementals and the clericals, but neither of the dark or light magic paths. Now the cleric can by default become an expert in the clerical spells, or a master if he's a priest, or he can be a priest of the light and then he can become a grandmaster in all of the clerical spells, and either if he's a priest of the light he can become a grandmaster in the light magic, and if he's a priest of the dark he can become a grandmaster in the dark magics. The druid seems the same as the ranger, except he starts with the ability to be learning all of the spell levels up to an expert, and advances up to a point where he can become a master at the first grade point. It becomes a great druid, but he can learn none of the light magic. And the sorcerer is can become an expert by default. Is basically the same as the cleric. He can become a master once he advances to the wizard stage, and then a grandmaster, either an archmage or a leech, depending on whether he takes the light or the dark path. So I'm guessing that we'll there are paths to choose from here. It was actually very good to have a druid in the party last time. We used her as an archer. Really, she had a bow and was a secondary fighter, but having a magical caster that was able to become a master in pretty much all of the magic and being able to cast pretty much all of the spells, so she was both a healer and a fighting mage, was a particularly good idea. So I think we would stick to this character or party combination that we had of having a paladin, having a druid, a cleric and a sorcerer. So a fairly magically wielding party, but one that has a decent chance of being someone that fights from range. Based on game number 6, melee combat was barely a thing, and being able to fight from range was a much greater thing. And I think we'll stick to basically that plan. Here's another very handy chart of the combat skills. A knight can basically become an expert or a master in pretty much every single thing. We spent essentially way too long and way too many skill points last time focusing on things that were perhaps secondary. So realistically, for the knight he can basically become a grandmaster in the plate armor and the shield. He can become a grandmaster in the spear and the sword. A thief can become a grandmaster in the dagger and in the leather armor, but he can only become an expert in the chainmail. The monk can become a grandmaster in the staff, and he can become a grandmaster in the art of the dodge, but only a master in the leather armor. The paladin, where do his strengths lie? He can become a grandmaster with the mace, somewhat surprisingly, and the shield, and the master of the plate armor, and the master of the sword. Our method of using the paladin was with the sword. The points seem to be pretty well spent there. The sword is a one-handed weapon, and it's useful to have a shield, at least early on in the game when the armor class is fairly low. So the sword seemed to be a good thing to spend skill points on, but somewhat interesting that he can become a Grandmaster with the mace as well, which seems to suggest that that might be the weapon of choice for him. Although you would rarely find a mace that was good enough to warrant pouring all of the skill points into becoming a Grandmaster of that. Because the skill points are tied to the level, you get an X amount of skill points for each level you go up, so it's very important that you use them wisely. Once you've set them and used them, you can't back out of that decision without just reloading the game and repeating everything again. So, at least to start the game, I think we'll focus on the sword and the shield and eventually the plate. That's really where you want to be putting the characters. It's not a good idea to pour skill points into either the leather or the chainmail. You really want the parrot to be using the plate mail. The archer can become a Grandmaster with a bow, but the druid can only be basic. But the archer only has the sorcerer spells but doesn't have the clerical spells. Choices. The ranger can become an expert in all of the magics. How does that open him up for the rest of this? He can become a master of the bow and a Grandmaster with the axe. And a master of the chain. This is obviously a compromise. If we use the ranger instead of the druid, we limit ourselves to expert skills in all of these, both the clerical and the elemental magics. But we gain the ability to use the axe at the Grandmaster level, which is a far better thing for hitting someone in the head with if you're in melee combat. And we gain the ability to be a master with the bow. If we back down to the archer, we lose the ability to do all of the clerical magic. Perhaps the ranger is the best compromise here. I noticed that the druid is also not capable of learning this dodge skill, and is very far more, of course, limited in the armor they can carry. The ranger sort of seems to be a mix of various things. It's a decent melee hunter but a weaker magician and still able to cast all the spells, just not with quite as many hit points. We might go with a ranger instead of a druid. Seems like a better idea. The cleric is, as per usual, very limited in the amount of weapons he can use, but he can become an expert with the bow, the master with the mace. He can become an expert in the leather armor, and he can become a master with the shield. That's basically the path with him. The druid is more limited as well. Seems very limited. He seems like almost like a cleric in many ways, and even more limited than a cleric. And the sorcerer can become a master of the staff, and an expert with a dagger, basic with the bow, and an expert at the leather. Makes sense. Let's look at the miscellaneous skills. This chart is highly useful. These basic charts are very, very useful to us, because it sort of shows us what the character arc for the characters should be. a knight can only become basic at disarming. He can become an expert at perception. You do need someone that can disarm. You need someone that has a perception skill. Merchant is a valuable skill in terms of being able to get better prices. Learning is a great skill that you need. It helps with gaining experience points. The higher that you get with the learning, the more experience you do gain. So it's good to be able to pick up learning. We never really used meditation very much in game number 6, but what it actually does is it gives you more spell points, and the way it works is you get essentially with the basic proficiency, as I understood it with the game, you get 1 point for each skill level, and it doubles if you move on to expert, and doubles again if you move to master. I'm not sure what it does with grandmaster, but I'm assuming that that might quadruple the skill. The paladin can basically he can be an expert in meditation, so that's the archer can be an expert, but the ranger can only be basic, and the druid can be a grandmaster. So essentially, the druid has a lot of spell points, but is a very weak melee fighter. He can learn quite a few of the magical skills up to a master level, and he has a lot of spell points, but is very weak in combat. That's the compromise. It's probably worth it to become a druid, even if at the start of the game they're very weak. What you need to focus on is the dagger. That's the weapon of choice. You can use the bow at a basic level. That's it. But essentially, that's probably still the right combination. This is interesting. These are very interesting compromises that you make here. Who's the best at disarming? The thief obviously can become a grandmaster, but that requires you to have a dedicated thief, which is with a party of only 4. That seems excessive. In game number 2 and 3, we're able to have up to 6 characters, and then a thief, a specialized thief made sense. And that's what we did. But in this game, that seems excessive. So the archer and the ranger can become experts. So can the monk. So we will absolutely suck at disarming traps, and so that's a hole we might have to fill with a higher character. We might need to find someone who's good at disarming at a grandmaster or master level. We won't have a knight. We won't have a thief. We won't have a monk. Probably won't have either an archer or a ranger. I'm torn between having a ranger and having a druid. It's sort of a decision to make. So I think the higher number of the ability to learn the learning skill up to a grandmaster level probably puts the druid well ahead of the ranger in that, even if it means that you have to sacrifice the ability to fight in hand-to-hand combat quite a bit. Since the actual
Next
ability
level.
to learn magic is relatively similar. Hey there, Archery.
Brexit base.
Thanks for the raid. Doing a little right manual leading. Planning to start playing this game tomorrow. Or just going through the motions of picking this. Do you use meditation a lot in the Heroes of Might and Magic? Is that a useful skill there, Amiga Gamer? What are you guys up to on the Finland Amiga stream? Hopefully something fun. North and south, perhaps? Okay, so we will relatively suck at disarming. Paladin can't learn it, nor can the druid, nor the sorcerer or the cleric. That's actually a problem. None of the characters that we have, if we pick that party of 4 I had envisioned, which would be a paladin and a druid, a cleric and a sorcerer, none of them can even pick up the skill. The A500 Mini, okay. Yeah, it's still a pretty fun system. You can play all sorts of things on it. It's easy to set up. And easy to use with lots of games and add to it as well. So it's not a bad platform at all. But welcome in nonetheless. The amount of people that come with you in the raid doesn't matter. Jury streams on Fridays. And, is keeping the Amiga dreams alive over in Finland. He's also the mascot of Amiga Bill's streams. What's your view on this, Amiga 1200 Gamer? Should we go with a ranger so that we can at least have somebody that can become an expert in the disarm trap? Or should we just rely on eventually finding somebody that might become an expert and just act like we don't see this as a problem? I see this as a potential problem, obviously. Druid. Okay. In terms of perception, I don't think that's as much of a problem. The druid, the sorcerer, and the cleric can all become masters at it. None of them can become masters of it. Only the thief and the archer and the ranger can. The archer can in fact become a grandmaster of it. Yeah, I'm somewhat torn between the ranger and the druid. I'm leaning against the ranger, but it's a hard choice. Paladin can become an expert merchant. Ranger can only become a basic one. Apparently the cleric can become a grandmaster merchant. So that's probably who we're picking as our number 1 merchant. A ranger can only become an expert in the skill of learning, but it's probably not a major issue. He can only become basic in meditation, so he gets very little in the way of bonus spell points. It's either the druid or the ranger. If we go with the druid, we have nobody who can disarm traps. And they can't even learn it to a basic level. Which seems like a problem. It does seem like a problem. So we would have to find someone early in the game that is able to do that, and we would have to take one slot. I'm guessing not, but we might find out later. In terms of bodybuilding, the paladin can become a master bodybuilder. So that's and the archer and the ranger can become experts, and the cleric can learn it to a basic level. If we go with a ranger, he can become an expert in this. So we have another melee fighter. Identify. The sorcerer is obviously the right one to pick for that. That's the one we picked last time. She can become a grandmaster. That's the character arc we have for that. The druid can be a secondary, but we don't really need this skill in more than one character. In terms of repair, the paladin can become a grandmaster in the repair, so that's probably who we'll use as a repair artist. Identify monster, that's the ranger shines here. The cleric and druid can learn it at least to an expert level. And the sorcerer can also become a grandmaster. Arms master, the knight can become a grandmaster. The thief and the monk can both become a master. The paladin can be an expert. So can the archer and the ranger, but the druid can only be basic. Again, highlighting that the druid is a very poor melee fighter. Now stealing, the thief can be a grandmaster, the monk can be up to an expert, and the ranger can be an expert. The ranger is a pretty good combination of. It's a weird combination really, and essentially a compromise between an archer, a sorcerer, and a paladin. And with part of the skill set from the thief as well. In terms of alchemy, the thief can become an expert, the ranger, the cleric, the druid is however a grandmaster in the alchemy. So if you want to become strong in the alchemy, the druid is far stronger. There's a bunch of choices to be made here. Now class, spell and hit points. The character class affects how many hit points and spell points they have at the start of the game and how many of each they gain when they reach a new level. The character's class rank can also affect this as shown in the following table. Starting values fluctuate depending on how many bonus points are assigned to the character's endurance, intellect and personality attributes. Obviously. So the knight starts with 40 and 0, the thief at 35 and 0, monk at 35 and 0, paladin has 30 and 5, archer has 30 and 5, the ranger has 30 and 0. Really? So he starts off as a right. He starts off at 30 and 0, the cleric starts at 25 and 10, the druid at 20, 10, and the sorcerer at 20, 15. Now, the ranger gains 4 base hit points per level, 5 for his first promotion, 6 for the second promotion. Whereas the cleric and the druid are similar and the sorcerer is slightly lower. So she will always have the fewest hit points. Makes sense. Spell points per level, the ranger gets 0 spell points per level for the first level, and then gets 2 for the first promotion and 3 for the second promotion. So he doesn't really become a spellcaster until later in the game, and then would only have very few hit points because he isn't skilled in the mediation, whereas the druid gains a lot of spell points and can become a master in the meditation. So essentially, the druid is a very strong magical caster. The ranger can cast a lot of spells with very few spell points, but is skilled at doing things like disarming traps, and is a skilled melee fighter, which is a pretty tough choice. So you do want a dedicated sorcerer and a cleric, and you do want a paladin. So it's only really a question of which is the fourth. Now, starting attributes raise affects a character's starting attributes and how high you can set those attributes using bonus points. With some, you must spend 2 points to raise the attribute value by 1. Interesting. Other attributes are raised 2 per point spent. The table reflects the different races' strengths and weaknesses. Okay, so essentially the human starts at 11, the goblin starts at 14, and the dwarf starts at 14. The goblin and the dwarf, you can raise the might value by 2 for each point you spend on it, whereas for the human you cannot. So you need to spend additional points to bring them up to the max. The goblin is already at 14, but for the paladin, the goblin is a poor choice because of his very low intellect and personality. We need at least the personality to be pretty high, and he requires 2 bonus points to raise by 1, whereas with the dwarf he starts with 11 in both. So we would need, if we wanted to raise this to 18, we would only need 2 points for that, and then 7 to raise the personality to 18, whereas for the human we would need 7 for the might and 7 for the personality. So this is only 9 points, whereas this is 14. He also starts with a higher endurance, which is a pretty good factor, but with a low accuracy and speed. And you require quite a bit to raise it. So we would need to spend quite a few points raising that, but if we just calculate this together, if we wanted to bring this to 18, that's 2. If we want to bring this to 18, that's a further 2. If we want to bring this to 18, that's 7 more, so that's 11. And then if we want to bring accuracy and speed up, we need 6 each, so that's 23. And we would have to spend quite a bit to on the human to get those there. It does start with 11 though, so for 11 speed and accuracy we wouldn't need to adjust these. But we would need to raise this quite a bit, so we would need if we raise this by 7 and this by 7 and this by at least 7, that's 21 at least. And 12. We need to spend 6 and 6 here, so that's 12, 13, 16, 17, 13, 15, 7 more, 22. In the end, it's fairly similar. With the paladin, might be best to go with a human for the paladin. If we were putting together a fighter, it would probably be better to just use the dwarf. It's the same with the elf. Even if we were to pick an elf for a sorcerer, getting the endurance up, which is fairly important for the sorcerer since they have a very low number of hit points to start with, and they don't really gain very many. They gain the fewest of all of them. So putting the endurance up is very important, and that requires 2 points to raise by 1. So if you start with 7, that will take an enormous amount of points to get up. And the same with the cleric, really. A human cleric is probably the wisest idea. I'm guessing it's the same for the druid as well. Yeah, that seems so. The dwarf seems to be a very good choice for a fighter. And goblin, perhaps if you had an archer. And the elf, perhaps if you had a sorcerer, but it does come with very low endurance, so you would always be fighting with very low hit points. Now, starting resistances: each time a character is attacked by magic, the attack's effect might be reduced or nullified. The higher a character is resisted to a particular type of magic, the greater the chance of avoiding ill effects. Humans start with a resistance value of 5 to spirit magic and body magic. Elves starting resistance is 10 against mind magic attacks. Goblins have a resistance of 5 against fire magic and air magic, and dwarves' resistance to earth and water magic is 5. Seems about equal. Now this is the main display. You have the torchlight here, the wizard eye here. We have a zoom in feature here, a direction facing out here, and zoom out here, so you can adjust the wizard eye. That's useful. These are your followers. Active spell icons. There seem to be more of them than there were in the previous game. There were only 6 or so icons. There appear to be at least 12 now. The golden food is the same as it was in the previous game. Books, I'm guessing those are the various quests and the notes and so on. There's the game options, that's the quick reference page, that's the rest, and that's the cast spell. You can see the active spell icon, the characters and so on, the main game view. Once you have a party of adventurers assembled, you can begin play. Almost all gameplay takes place on the adventure screen. The main view shows what your party can see of the world. In it you will see people moving around, monsters closing to attack, clouds moving, etc. This is because events in the game happen in real time. Use your keyboard arrow keys to move the party through the world. As new territory comes into view, a map of where you have traveled is drawn for you. You can see a display of this map in the auto map. The arrow that appears on the map shows you your party's location and points in the direction they are facing. For more information, see things to do while adventuring and combat. Okay, the character portraits remain largely the same. The ready light, which signals whether the character is ready to cast a spell or attack, is still the same. Hour of power spell effects are displayed in the second row. Okay. First row is for different kinds of resistances, day of protection. Right, makes sense. It really wasn't a display for the... well, there was a display for the Hour of Power spells. They were in the character displays. They're now in the... in a different place. Or some of them. The Bless is still active here. Pain Reflection, Hammer Hands, and Preservation. Hit points and spell points. Okay. This is not exactly the same. I see some of them are still under the... yeah, right. The master spells. These are the portraits of your 4 party members. While they are all traveling together as a group, they perform actions such as swinging a sword, opening a door, talking to a stranger, or casting a spell one at a time. Welcome in, Kaka Pizza, by the way. One at a time. You can tell which character is active because his or her portrait will be highlighted with a glowing outline, since it is the active character's abilities and skills that are applied to any action performed. You will want to make sure that you select the best character for the job at hand. Select characters by clicking on their portraits. Some actions like the casting of spells or attacking cause a character to take a moment to recover. This is indicated by his or her ready light, which goes dark while the character recovers. The ready light also indicates the nearness of hostile creatures. When the light is green and are nearby, when it's yellow they are, and if it's red the party is being attacked. A blue bar to the right of each portrait indicates how many spell points each character has left. The green bar to the left does the same for hit points. Right click on a portrait to show summary information for the character. Double clicking on a character's portrait accesses their character screen as described in another section. Followers. These are the portraits of non-party characters following your party. You may have 2 hirelings, see hiring followers, and an unlimited number of other story-related characters tagging along with your party. Now, this is something that we didn't quite realize at the start of, at least I didn't realize at the start of game number 6. So if you have NPCs or non-player characters following the party along, if you're like you had Prince Nikolai tagging along with us in the in game number 6, they're still there, but you can't see them once you have 2 hirelings in the party. At least you weren't able to see them in game number 6. There was no way to scroll the page, so you just if you dismissed the hireling, they would suddenly appear. Click on the follower, it says portraits to talk to him. If you have more than 2 followers, you can access unseen portraits by clicking on the arrows to either side of the displayed portraits. That's potentially something that wasn't there in game number 6. Or maybe the arrows are just so small I didn't see them. Now, active spell icons. There's Feather Fall, Fire Resistance, Air Resistance, Water Resistance, Mind Resistance, Earth Resistance, and Body Resistance. Was it there? Okay, good. All of which we know. Then you have Heroism, Haste, Shield, Stone Skin, Protection from Magic, Immolation, and Day of the Gods. Immolation, I don't think we know. Heroism, Haste, Shield, Stone Skin, and Protection from Magic we do. And Day of the Gods we do. So they all each have their own icon now. Some of these were actually displayed on the main window itself. Below the followers is a group of icons that represent the different spells that can be affecting your party. When the spell is active, its icon glows. The torchlight and Invisitai icons are located at the automap upper corners. That's still the case, the torchlight and the Invisitai. Active spell icons that affect individual characters are located below their portraits, like Bless and so on. Books, food, and gold. The party carries books containing various travel notes. Click on a book to open it. This basically replaces the auto notes and the quest buttons. See book screens for more details. Above the books is a display of how much food and gold the party has, which is basically the same as it was in game number 6. Cast spell, rest, quick references, and game options. These are the buttons at the lower right corner of the screen. Click the cast spell button to access the character's spell book. The rest button accesses the rest menu. Click quick reference to display a summary of character and party information. Game options accesses the game options menu. Right. Character screens. Information about each of your characters is displayed on 4 character screens. Stats, skills, inventory, and awards. To display a character screens, double click on his or her portrait. The buttons above the portraits switch between displays. You can switch to a different character screen by clicking on the portrait. When you're done with the character screen, hit the escape key or press the escape button to return to the adventure screen. Right. Start screen. This displays a character's personal statistics, where 2 numbers on either side of a slash are shown for a given statistic. The first number is its current value as affected by damage, spells, or other effects, and the second is its normal value. For example, hit points 20 or 30 means that the character currently has 20 hit points out of a possible 30. Damage is usually shown as a range. Damage 11 to 18 can be interpreted as this character's hand-to-hand weapon does between 11 and 18 points of damage when it hits. A character's attack bonus and shoot bonus affects his or her chance to hit with a hand-to-hand and ranged attacks. A positive value indicates that the character has a higher chance than normal to hit, and a negative value means that they have a lower chance. Right-click on the statistic to display information about its effect on the gameplay. Skill screen. Skills acquired by characters are displayed on the skill screen listed by name, expertise, and level. When characters advance levels, they gain skill points to spend, thereby increasing their existing skill levels. To advance a skill to the next level, click on it. As skill levels grow up, more points must be spent for each increase. Right-click on the skill listing to display descriptive text. This is all very similar to game number 6. Book screens. As you explore a area, your party will automatically record useful information in their notebooks and turn pages within a section. Click the next and previous page tabs. And previous and next page are there. Section tabs are here. Current quests are in this book. The auto notes are in this book. Maps are in this one. That's the calendar. That's the history. So it's largely the same, but just instead of being buttons, they're just individual books that you can click. So it's mostly the same. The current quest. When you receive a quest, it is noted here. Quests remain in the book until they are completed. Auto notes. In this book, your party will also record any potion mixing discoveries, the effects of drinking from town fountains, and clues about the mysterious obelisks that dot the landscape. Another obelisk puzzle. Great. This book also has a section dedicated to miscellaneous events that don't fit into other categories. The maps. This book shows you a map of your current location using the tabs. You can scroll the map, zoom in and zoom out. Calendar. This book displays the current time and date. And history. This is a chronological journey of the party's travels. Right. That might be useful at some point. I don't remember that being a particular part of game number 6. Inventory, equipped character, accessory, detail toggle, and the usual inventory screen. When your character buys or picks up an item, it ends up in their inventory. Items may lose inventory or things the character is carrying but not using. Items may be looked at by right-clicking on them if the item has been identified by either a shopkeeper or a character with the identify item skills. Descriptive information about the item will be displayed. Click on an item to pick it up. Picked up items, stick to the mouse cursor and follow it around. Drop the item by clicking again where you want it to go. The character is displayed on the right, outfitted with the items he or she is using. To equip a character with an item, pick it up out of loose inventory and drop it on the character's full figure image. Characters may only use items that they have the skill to use, and with the exception of rings, may only use one of each type of an item at a time. Click the accessory detail toggle to display a character's equipped rings, gauntlets, and amulet. To have the active character give an item to another character, pick up the item and click the item on the receiving character's portrait. Drop an item on the ground, select it and hit the escape key to return to the adventure screen, and then drop the item into the main view. To use an item like a scroll, learning book, or potion, right click it over a character's portrait or left click it over the character's full figure image. Right. This is all very familiar. Resting in camp screen. Your characters will need to sleep occasionally, though they can remain awake a long time. They will become weak and from fatigue after a day or so. To avoid this, you should have them sleep for 8 hours once a day. Sleep also restores the party's lost spell and hit points. Have your party set up camp. Click the rest button on the adventure screen and then click rest and heal 8 hours button on the menu that appears. Camping uses up 1 unit of food on grass terrain. Harsher terrains use more food units. A good investment in game number 6 was having a hireling that actually reduced this value by quite a bit. So it was basically 1 except in very rare circumstances. So that turned out pretty well. Saved us a lot of food buying and time. Be sure to have your party camp in as safe a location as possible. Many creatures have no cause against attacking your party while they lie helpless. Your characters are aware of this and will refuse to camp when there are hostile creatures nearby. Sometimes your party will have to wait at a location with nothing better to do than kill time. Skip game time ahead, click the rest button, then choose from the wait without healing options. Been there, done that. Game options screens. To access the game options menu, click the game options button on the adventure screen. There you can select from the options described below. While the game option menu is open, the game is paused. Return closes the game option and returns to the adventure screen. Controls opens the system options menu to set game display and sound playback options. Graphic detail. This can be set to low, medium or high. The higher you set the graphic detail, the higher the quality of the image in the main view. On slower computers you may want to reduce the quality for better game performance. I don't think we'll need to do that. Turn rate. This controls how fast your party spins when you press the left and right arrow keys. 16 times is the fastest speed and smooth is the slowest. Walk sound. This checkbox toggles on and off the footsteps sound you hear when your party walks forward. Always a requirement. Always run. Party always runs instead of walking. Flip on exit. Party will always turn around upon exiting a building. Show damage. Normally during combat, a blow by blow account of damage given and received appears in the adventure screen text bar. This checkbox turns this feature on and off. Okay. Sound, music, and character voice volume. These 3 controls set the playback volume for sound effects, background music, and your character speaking voices. Click inside the volume ramp boxes or on the control levels to change these settings. Right. New game. Click this button to start a new game from the party creation process. Save game. Click this button to display the save game dialog. To save a game, click on the save game slot you want to save in. Type a name for your save game and press the save button. To click on a previously saved game slot, the thumbnail will appear showing you where and when that game was saved. Load game. The load game dialog looks very similar to save game dialog. To load the previously saved game, choose it from the list and click the load button. And quit ends the game and sends you back to the startup menu. Things to do while adventuring, moving around. This is all very familiar. Up, shift up, left, right, turn quickly. You can turn and turn quickly, that's interesting. You can strafe or move sideways. Page down, delete and enter. It's just largely the same. You move around the world using the keyboard. Turn and move using the arrow keys. Hold down shift and the arrow keys to run. Control on the left or right arrows to move sideways. Beware of cliffs and pits. Your characters can take massive damage from long falls, though less than vertical hills may be descended safely if you're careful. Running jumps can help you to clear small obstacles like low ledges and smaller pits. Flying, the high-level air magic spell Fly can grant your party the power of flight. You still use the arrow keys to turn and go forward and backwards, but with Fly, in fact, you can go up and down. This power is great for getting over all sorts of trouble, but be careful. Your party will fall out of flight as soon as the spell wears off. This is the same as it was. Traveling long distances. Each out-year game map represents a square section of Arethia. When you reach the edge of a map, you can travel to the next adjacent map. This travel takes some days. The party uses 1 unit of food per day during long distance travel. If they start the journey with insufficient food, your characters will arrive at the destination in a weakened condition. Long distance travel may also be accomplished using hired boats or stagecoaches. We know this. Dealing with objects. Loose items. Often while exploring you will see usual items like equipment and potion ingredients just lying around unprotected. These items are up for grabs. To pick up a loose item, click on it. It will appear in the active character's inventory. You want to look at the loose item, right click on it. If the active character has a de-identify item skill, he or she will automatically attempt to use it when looking at an item. Containers, treasure chests and drawers are a sample of containers you will find to have the active character attempt to open a container. Click on it. Many containers are booby-trapped. So it's always a good policy to have a character with a disarm trap skill to do the opening. If a trap is triggered, characters with a perception skill may avoid some or all of the damage. When a container is opened, the items within it are displayed. Pick them up and identify them as you would loose items. Dead bodies. Combat and other deadly events often produce corpses. Click on a dead body to search it. You may find gold and or other items. After a body is searched, it disappears. All very familiar to us. Buttons and switches. Throughout the world you will find a variety of buttons, levels and other switches. To operate one, click on it. Fountains. To have the active character drink from a fountain, move up to it to click on the water surface. Right. Doors. Dungeon entrances. To enter caves, fortresses, dungeons and other layers. Click on the entryways. You will be asked if you really want to go in or not. Agree and you will. Refuse and you will remain outside. Interior doors. In dungeons you will come across closed doors. Clicking on a door causes the current character to attempt to open it. Some doors will require that you have a particular item like a key before they will open. Others may require you to throw a switch or perform a certain action to them. Secret doors. Some doors will be hidden or disguised. They're opened like normal doors provided you can find them. Characters with a perception skill may detect them. If they do, the door will be blinking red for you. Town doors. Doors to shops, houses, taverns and other small buildings can be entered by clicking on them. Some shops have business hours and their hours. The doors will be locked during off times. Opening a town door starts a transaction with the occupant. See towns for more details. Other objects. The land of Arithia is full of objects whose effects on operation. You have to figure out that you encounter them. As a general rule, objects are operated, activated, picked up or searched by clicking on them. Stealing. Characters with a stealing skill can attempt to lift items and gold from people and creatures. To have the active character attempt this, control click on whomever you want to steal from. This does not sound like something we will actually do. A failed attempt to steal can have all sorts of negative consequences, so be careful whose gold you take. Right. Dealing with others. On your journey you will encounter all sorts of people and creatures. Some will be hostile, others will not. You can tell the difference because hostile creatures will attack you on sight. Interactions with hostile creatures are dealt with in the combat section. Talking. Talk to a person or a creature. Move need to click on them in the main view. They will converse with the active character, whose personal attribute may have an effect on how well or she is perceived. When you click on a conversation topic, that person's response will be displayed. Receiving a quest. Sometimes when you talk to someone, they will give you a quest. Quests are heroic actions to perform, the completion of which often brings rewards of money and or experience points. Typically you complete a quest by doing something for a person that gives it to you, then returning to them for your reward. This is not always the case, so you should read the details carefully concerning what must be done. Quests you have received but not completed are recorded in the current quest book. Hiring a follower. Some people you talk to will offer themselves for hire to the party. If you agree to hire a follower, you will typically pay them an upfront fee, and then they will take a small percentage of any gold you find. In exchange, they will provide you with some benefit. You may have up to 2 hired followers with a party at any given time. Followers as portraits appear on the right side of the adventure screen. To begin a conversation with a follower, click on their portrait. Choose the dismiss follower name conversation option if you no longer require their services. Towns are a collection of houses, shops and services. They typically act as places where your party can learn new skills, buy and sell equipment, obtain quests, receive training and rest. While no place in Arithia is completely safe, towns are usually safer than not. To talk to the occupants of homes or use shops and other services, you must enter them. To enter a building, walk up to it and click on the door. Shops. When you enter a shop, you start a conversation with the shopkeeper. Choose from the conversation options to buy and sell items, repair broken items, or learn skills from the shopkeeper. Buy standard or special items. Each shop contains a selection of standard and special items. To see either selection, click the buy standard or buy special conversation options. When you move your mouse over the items displayed, the shopkeeper will tell you how much it costs. If the active character has the merchant skill, you will get better prices. Click on an item to buy it. The cost will be deducted from the party's gold and the item will appear in the active character's inventory. Display inventory. If you want to see your character's inventories, click the display inventory conversation option. You can switch between inventories by clicking the character portraits while inventories are displayed. The conversation options will change to sell, identify and repair. Click on option to perform the labeled function. If you're done, click the exit button. Sell allows you to sell your party's items to the shopkeeper. As you move the mouse over inventory items, the shopkeeper will tell you if he's interested in buying the item or not, and if so, for how much. Click on an item to sell it. Identify. Shopkeepers can identify items for you. Unidentified items will appear highlighted in green. Move the mouse over an item to see what it will cost to identify. Click on item to pay the shopkeeper for the service. Repair. Broken items are highlighted in red. Shopkeepers will repair items for a price. Click on an item to have this done. Learn skills. Click the learn skills conversation options to display a list of skills the shopkeeper can teach and what's charged for the teaching. This is different. Shopkeepers teach skills at the basic level. Okay, so basic level skills can be learned from the shopkeeper. What skills are offered will depend on what the active character's class is. Shopkeepers will not teach skills to those incapable of learning them. That sounds very basic, but is nonetheless the case. Stealing from shops. If the active character has the stealing skill, they may try to pilfer items from the shop displays to try to steal an item. Counter-click on it. A failed attempt can result in negative consequences. My experience with theft in these games is that it's best avoided. Not a single one of these games has ever benefited from you trying to steal anything. So while you can with no doubt obviously do this in this game, we won't be doing it. It's nothing but bother. Types of shops. Shops specialize in the kinds of items they sell, identify and repair, as well as in what skills they teach. Usually each shop will further specialize in a particular category of their craft. For instance, a particular blacksmith might carry a wide selection of axes, but few or no daggers, swords or other weapons. Blacksmiths deal in weapons. Armories. In armories you may find suits of armor, shields, headpieces and gauntlets. At them, magic shops sell potions, potion ingredients, scrolls, rings, learning books and other items of magic. And alchemists carry the widest selection of potions and potion ingredients. Right. Other town services, the magic guilds. Magic guilds serve practitioners of the mystic arts. Visit magic guild houses to learn basic magic skills and buy learning books. Your party must purchase a membership from a guild member to enter. Taverns, serving the rest and relaxation needs of weary travelers. Taverns and roadhouses can be found almost anywhere. You can buy food or rent a room for a night of sage rest. Temples. These houses of worship are maintained by your donations or through the selling of healing services. Stables. A network of overland state coach roads operates in Erythea. Traveling by coach shortens the duration of long-distance trips considerably. Check with the stable master to see if any rides are available. Docks. Ships found at docks may be available for hire. Ask the captain if you can berth in the ship when it sails for the next port. Banks. If you want to set aside money for an emergency, you can leave it in safekeeping at a bank. Government. A town of any size usually has someone in charge of things who may be in need of some assistance. If you're looking for something to do, you can usually find it at a local town or a castle. And houses. All sorts of people live in Erythea. While many have little to say, you can find odd jobs to do or locate guild members and master teachers by knocking at a few doors. Right. Combat. Combat takes place on the adventure screen. Characters equipped with bows or wands may make ranged attacks, that is, attack targets that are far away. Other weapons and bare fists are good for hand-to-hand combat with nearby enemies. To have the active character attack a specific creature, either click on the creature in the main view or move the mouse over the creature and press the A key. If you press the A key without targeting a specific creature, the nearest creature will be targeted automatically. Characters may not use bows to make ranged attacks if there are creatures directly in front of the party. Characters with magical abilities may of course cast spells during combat. To cast the character's chosen quick spell, press the S key. May target hostile creatures with the mouse cursor. Otherwise, a nearby creature will be targeted automatically. You can also access the target's active spellbook by pressing the cast spell button or the C key. Active characters will attack the nearby opponent with an A key. With the S key, active character will, if able in this order, cast a quick spell, attack with a bow or wand, or make a hand-to-hand attack. B is the block, and C is the open character spellbook, and enter toggles real-time and turn-based. This is all very familiar to us. Real-time versus turn-based combat. Game time moves without pause or in real time. Each action your character performs, like casting spells or swinging a sword, takes a certain amount of time to accomplish. A fact reflected by the ready lights in the adventure screen, which darken while the character recovers. While a character is recovering, he or she can perform no new actions. Normally this is not really noticeable, but during combat the effect can be quite pronounced. Attacking creatures may be able to attack more efficiently than the party due to the time it takes you to think. Select characters and target attacks. The game can be put into turn-based mode by pressing the Enter key. The Enter key toggles between real-time mode and turn-based mode. In turn-based mode, each combatant takes their action one at a time in order depending on their speed and recovery status. Combat is divided into rounds lasting a few seconds. Characters and creatures that are particularly fast can perform multiple actions in a round. The game pauses before each character turns, so you can calmly execute his or her action. Press the B key to skip a character's action turn. At the end of each round, action pauses and you can move your party a short distance using the arrow keys. After that, creatures move and then the next round begins. Press any key to skip your movement phase. Interesting. This is new. You weren't able to move at all during the turn-based mode in 6, but here you can apparently move a little bit. So you could move slightly back, because one of the things that you kept doing was going out of turn-based mode into real-time mode to back off a little bit, and then going back to turn-based mode to continue attacking. When you are in turn-based mode, an icon appears in the lower left corner of the main view. The icon changes to reflect the different round phases. There's an action phase, there's a movement phase, and there's a computer thinking phase. Good to know. Damage and other ill effects. Your characters receive damage from many sources: combat strikes, spell effects, traps, falling, and the explosions of incorrectly mixed potions, to name a few. They may also be affected by other conditions like fatigue, weakness, or drunkenness. Ill effects can always be removed for a price at temples. Physical wounds, weapon strikes, explosions, falls, and most offensive spells would wound characters directly by taking away hit points. Physical damage may be healed using various curative spells or by resting. Unconsciousness and death. If a character's hit points fall below 0, they become unconscious or die. Unconscious characters are knocked out of action and cannot perform any actions until their hit points heal to a positive value. Resting and healing revives unconscious characters. Death results when the character's hit points are reduced to far below 0. Dead characters may only be revived using the Raise Dead spell or by paying a temple to perform the service. Weakness. Characters become weak from fatigue or hunger. Some attacks can also cause this effect. Weak characters have a lowered maximum hit points and are less able to perform actions and fight. Weakness can be cured by resting or by the Cure Weakness spell. Poison and disease. These very similar effects can be caused by traps or certain spell and creature attacks. Both reduce character attributes, reduce their combat efficiency, and lower spell points over time. They can only be cured at temples or by casting the appropriate cure disease or cure poison spells. Insanity and afraid. Some attacks make characters insane or afraid. Both of these conditions affect character attributes and may be removed by the cure insanity and remove fear spells. Cursed. Some spell attacks can curse characters. Cursed character actions fail 50% of the time. The remove curse spell takes care of this condition. Sleep. A few creature attacks can make characters fall asleep. Characters awaken when attacked or after you rest them. You can also use the awaken spell. Stoned and paralyzed. Characters can become frozen by being stoned or paralyzed. If this happens, they cannot perform any actions. These conditions can be cured using the Stone to Flesh and Cure Paralysis spells. Zombie. This is a new state. If you cast Reanimate on a dead character, they become a zombie. Zombified characters don't sleep, so resting does not replenish their hit or spell points. Zombification can only be cured at temples. I'm not sure if this state was in game number 6, but I've never seen it at least. Eradicated. Some monsters can eradicate characters, killing them and destroying their bodies. Eradicated characters can be brought back at temples or with the resurrection spell. Character advancement, experience points and levels. As the game progresses, your characters gain more spell and hit points and become better at the skills they possess through level advancement. Characters gain experience points for overcoming challenges, notably for killing monsters and for completing quests. When your characters earn enough experience points, they qualify to train for the next level at a training hall. You can't see your characters' current level and experience points in their stat screen. Right-clicking on the experience statistic will display what level a character is ready to train for, or how many experience points they need to reach the next level. A character needs current level times 1000 to move from one level to the next. A character needs, for example, 3000 experience points to move from level 3 to 4. A character eligible to train must do so at a training hall. Training halls are located in towns throughout Arithia. They charge a fee for their services. Most have a limit to how far they can train the character. When a character gains a new level, they receive increases to their maximum hit points and spell points. What each specific character gains depends on the class, the rank within the class, and the attribute scores. At early levels 1 to 9, characters receive 5 skill points to spend on advancing the levels of skill they possess. This number increases by 1 every 5 levels thereafter, 6 at levels 10 to 19, 7 at levels 20 to 29, etc. See skills for more details. Rank. The party can receive special quests in the game called promotion quests. Certain people that the party meets will be empowered to grant class rank on characters of a particular character class. Before they will do this, they will ask the party to prove its worth by completing a promotion quest. Gaining a new rank increases the number of spell and hit points a character receives per level. This will also allow the character to learn new skills and learn other skills at higher level of expertise, as witnessed in that pretty great chart we had before. Skills. In order to use weapons, armor, cast magic spells, or perform special actions, a character must possess the proper skill. Each character starts the game with 4 skills and can learn new ones from shopkeepers and guilds located throughout Arithia. Each skill has a numerical level, which is 1 when a character first learns the skill. You may increase your character's skill levels by spending the skill points they gain through experience level and advancement. The cost of advancing a skill level is equal to the level you want to get to. For example, a character with a bow skill of 3 would need 4 skill points to advance to bow skill level 4. As you explore, you will find master teachers who are able to increase your character's expertise level in their skills. And first learned a skill is at the basic or normal level. Teachers can increase that level to expert, master, or grandmaster. Skills possessed at higher levels of expertise give characters advantages in their use. Weapon skills. In order to equip a particular type of weapon, a character must possess the proper weapon skill. Axes are slow but do good damage when they hit. The character's expertise level is added to their attack bonus. Experts gain a reduction in recovery time. Master's skill level will yield additional damage, and grandmasters have a chance to half the armor class of their opponents. The bow skill applies to both bow and crossbow use. At normal level, the skill level is added to a character's ranged attack bonus. Experts get a recovery rate reduction. Masters get off 2 shots per attack, and grandmasters at a skill level to their damage. Okay, so if you're a grandmaster, you get 2 shots per attack, and you do additional damage per attack up to your skill level. Daggers don't do a lot of damage but have a very low recovery time. At normal expertise level, skill level is added to the attack bonus. At expert level, dagger users can put the dagger in their left hand and hold another weapon in the right. Masters have a percentage chance equal to their skill to do triple damage. Grandmasters add +1 per point of skill to damage done. Mace skills allow a character to use blunt hand-to-hand weapons. At normal level, skill level is added to the attack bonus. Experts' skill levels are added to the damage done by successful attacks. Masters and grandmasters have a percentage chance equal to their skill to stun or paralyze their opponents respectively. Interesting. A paladin has an option to become a grandmaster. Somewhat interesting. Spears are polearms with sharp metal points or blades. At normal level of expertise, spears must be held in 2 hands and skill level is added to attack bonus. Expert's skill level is added to their attack damage. Masters gain the ability to hold the spear in 1 hand, while Grandmasters learn to defend with their spears, and their skill level is added to their armor class. This is interesting. Staffs are blunt, 2-handed polearms. At a normal level of expertise, the wielder's skill level is added to their attack bonus. Experts add theirs to their armor class. Interesting. Masters get a percentage chance equal to their skill to momentarily stun their opponents, while Grandmasters gain the ability to use their staff in conjunction with the unarmed skill. Interesting. Sword skill covers all long blade weapons. At normal level, skill is added to the attack bonus. Expert users enjoy decreased recovery time. Masters can carry a sword in their left hand and a second weapon in their right, and Grandmasters add their skill to their armor class. Right. It's obviously good to pick a weapon at which the character can become a Grandmaster eventually, even if it happens slowly in the game. The unarmed skill is applied when the character has no equipped weapon. At normal expertise, skill level is added to attack bonus, and at expert level it is added to attack damage. Master level, the effect of skill level on attack bonus and damage is doubled. Grandmasters gain a percentage chance equal to their skill level to avoid incoming attacks entirely. Armor skill. In order to equip a piece of armor, a character must possess the proper armor skill. This is, by the way, a very good manual. Wearing armor slows a character down. The heavier the armor, the slower a character becomes. Belts, boots, capes, helmets and gauntlets require no particular skill to use. Leather armor is the lightest armor and slows down a character the least. It also offers the least protection. At normal level of expertise, a character's skill level is added to their armor class. Expert's recovery time is not affected by their armor's weight. Masters add twice their skill level to their armor class, while Grandmasters have their skill added to their resistance to earth, air, fire and water magic. Interesting. Chain armor is heavier than leather and lighter than plate. Normal level of expertise is where skill level is added to their armor class. For experts, the effect of their armor's weight on recovery time is halved. For masters, it is eliminated. Grandmasters take only 2/3 of the damage from physical attacks. Plate armor is the heaviest and most protective armor available. At normal level. Skill level is added to the armor class. Experts have their armor related recovery time penalty halved. Masters take only half damage from physical attacks, and Grandmasters have no recovery penalty. Shields are held on a character's left hand and so can't be used with 2-handed weapons. At normal level of expertise, skill level is added to armor class. Experts have no recovery penalty from holding shields. Masters add twice their skill level to their armor class. Grandmasters gain the effects of the shield spell while holding their shields. The dodging skill is applied when a character is not wearing any armor. At normal level, a character's skill level is added to their armor class. For experts, this is doubled, and for masters, the effect is tripled. Grandmasters gain the ability to use their dodge skills while wearing leather armor. Potentially worth investigating later in the game if you have someone that has the Grandmaster skill and can only wear the leather armor anyway, because then you gain essentially a lot of armor. Your armor class goes way up. So it's a useful property late game, but perhaps not early on. Magic skills. Before a character can cast spells of a particular type of magic, they must hold the proper magic skills. Each type of the magic, fire, air, water and earth, spirit, mind, body, light and dark, has its own skill. The effects of expertise and level is different for each spell type. For more information, see spells under magic system. Now, miscellaneous skills. The alchemy skill. Without the alchemy skill, your characters can only make simple potions. Having this skill allows you to mix more complex potions. See potions on the magic system. Arms Master. The Arms Master skill generally increases the character's ability with all weapons. Normal skill reduces the recovery time of their attacks. Expert and Masters add their skill to their attack and damage bonuses respectively. Grandmasters double all the previous bonuses. Bodybuilding. At normal level, the character's bodybuilding skill is directly added to their maximum hit point value. For experts, the amount is doubled. For masters, it is tripled, and for grandmasters, it is quintupled. Interesting. Disarm Trap. Having this skill allows a character a chance to disarm booby-trapped containers. For experts, this chance is doubled. For masters, it is tripled. Grandmasters have a 100% chance of disarming traps. Identify item. The skill gives a character a chance based on the skill level to identify items. To make the attempt, right-click on the item. Normal level of expertise allows a character to attempt to identify items. Expert double their chance of identifying any item. Masters have 3 times the chance, and Grandmasters have a 100% chance to identify the item. Identify monster. If your party has a character with the Identify monster skill, you can get better right-click information on monsters you encounter. The higher the character's skill level, the better your chances of this happening. This is a new skill. At least I don't remember it being particularly useful. We found that horn of Identifying monster very late in the game, which would have been very, very useful early in the game. Successful normal level authentication will reveal on a monster's exact number of hit points. Expert, Master and Grandmaster skill levels add to the information, attack type and damage, what spells a monster can cast, and the monster's level of resistance respectively. This is a highly useful skill. Worth investigating. Now this is an excellent manual of the skills. This is not well documented for game number 6. At least reading through the manual for game number 6 did not reveal all of this information to us. Learning. Characters with a learning skill get a percentage bonus to their experience point awards. At normal level, this bonus is 9% plus 1% per level of skill. Experts receive double this bonus. Masters triple and Grandmasters quintuple. Right. This is an important and good skill to have. And important to learn it early in the game as well, if you can. Meditation. At normal level of expertise, the meditation skill adds 1 to the character's maximum spell points volume for each level of skill. For experts, masters and grandmasters, the bonus is doubled, tripled and quintupled respectively. Merchant. A character with a merchant skill gets selling and buying prices in shops adjusted in their favor. The higher the skill level, the better the prices. For experts, the effect is doubled, and for masters it is tripled. Grandmasters can buy items and sell items at their actual value. That is highly, highly useful. Perception. Possessing the perception skill gives the character a chance to notice traps, hidden treasures and secret doors. It reduces the amount of damage they take from trigger traps. The higher the skill level, the greater these effects. For experts and masters, the effects are doubled and tripled. Grandmasters have a 100% chance of receiving these benefits. Repair item skill gives a character a chance based on the skill level to repair broken items. To make an attempt to right-click on a broken item in the character's inventory. Normal level of expertise allows a character to attempt fixing the item. Experts have double the chance of repairing the item. Masters have 3 times the chance, and Grandmasters have a 100% chance to repairing the item. The stealing skill allows a character to attempt stealing items from shops and golden items from people. To use the skill, control-click on the item you want to steal and the person you want to steal from. Getting caught can end any number of bad effects. The chance of success is based on the character's skill level. The chance is doubled, tripled, and quintupled respectively for experts, masters, and grandmasters. Not terribly interested in this skill. Very interested in all of the other ones. The magic system spell books. Your characters can use magic in the form of spells, which they cast from the spell books. Each spell belongs to one of the 9 schools of magic: the earth, air, fire, water, i.e. the sorcerer spells, and body, mind, and spirit, i.e. the clerical spells, and the light and dark magics. Each school has a skill which a character must possess before they can learn and cast the school spells. The more powerful spells require a character to possess a magic school skill at expert, master, or even grandmaster level. Characters learn new spells from learning books, which may be purchased at various guilds and shops or found as treasure. To use a learning book, pick it up out of the character's inventory and then click on the character's full figure, image, or portrait. Spell will now be permanently recorded in the character spellbook, and each learning book can only be used once. Right. To have a character cast a spell, select the character, click on his or her portrait or press 1 to 4 and then open his or her spellbook by clicking the cast spell button or pressing the C key. The book will have a page tab for each magic school skill that the character possesses. Turn the page by clicking the tabs. Double click on a spell icon to cast a spell. If the spell targets a party member, click on the target character's portrait to select them. Each party member may have one ready spell called a quick spell. To set a quick spell, open a character spellbook, click on the spell icon to select it, then press the set spell button. Ready spells may be cast by pressing the S button. To display further information about the spell, right click on its spell icon and hello there, Josh. Welcome into some light manual reading and character creation before we go all in on game number 7 tomorrow. And yes, we did complete Might and Magic 6 last stream. It was supposed to be the penultimate stream, but we ended up just finishing the game. It is still up on the Twitch VOD, and it's also up on YouTube, all 197 hours of the playthrough. So if you have trouble falling asleep, that's always an option. You can listen to me drone on for 197 hours. That's enough to last you a lifetime of sleeplessness, probably. We're about 2/3 done with the manual. Then we'll probably get to creating the party, and then we'll probably park the game for tomorrow. I won't actually play any of the game tonight. We'll just go through the motions here. I figured we would spend the night reading the what must be said is a very, very good manual that explains a lot of things, and essentially explains a lot of things about game number 6 as well. I'm assuming some of this applies to game number 6 as well. Things that I very much wish I had known when I started playing that. Now, scrolls and wands. Spells may also be cast from scrolls and wands. Each scroll has one spell written on it, can be used once. To cast the scroll spells, pick it up out of the character's inventory and click over the character's full figure image. Wands are loaded with multiple charges of a spell. A character must equip a wand as a weapon to use it. Each time a character attacks with a wand, one of its charges is expanded. When a wand's charges are exhausted, it disappears. Scrolls and wands require no particular skill to use. Potions. Characters can quaff potions to gain a wide variety of benefits. Potions can be purchased, found, or created. To have a character drink a potion, pick a potion out of a character's inventory and click it over their full figure image or portrait. If it is identified, right-clicking on a potion will display information about its effects. Potions may be created using an empty potion bottle and any of a variety of herbs and rare substances called reagents. Create a potion, put a reagent and an empty potion bottle in a character's inventory display. Pick up the reagent and then right-click it over the bottle. Characters with the alchemy skill can also mix potions to form potions with more powerful effects. To attempt this, pick up one potion, then right-click it over another. But be warned that mixing incompatible potions can cause an explosion. Characters possessing the alchemy skills at normal levels can mix basic potions, once made directly from reagents, together to form complex potions. Experts can attempt mixtures involving complex potions to form compound potions, and masters can mix compound potions to form white potions. Grandmasters can mix white potions to form black potions. We had a few cases of the potions going boom. We've barely used the alchemy features in Might and Magic 6, but we might do more of it this game. Depends. We do need some characters to become good at the alchemy skill then. Spells. Here's a list of the game's spells. Normal level spells may be learned and cast by characters with a basic level of expertise in their spell school skill. Expert, master and grandmaster spells may only be used once a character has achieved the appropriate skill level. Okay. There are expert, master and grandmaster spells in particular here. Characters who possess higher magic school rankings cast lower spells with greater effect as noted in the spell descriptions. The fire magic at the normal level, that's the torchlight, which we know very well increases the radius of light surrounding the party, only visible when it's dark. Expert gets you a brighter light, master gets you the brightest light, and grandmaster gets you a faster recovery. The fire bolt, spell point costs 2, launches a burst of fire at a single target, does 1 to 3 damage per point of caster's fire magic skill. Expert gets you a faster recovery rate, master gets you a faster recovery rate, and grandmaster gets you the fastest recovery rate. Fire resistance, spell point cost 3, increases all of your character's resistance to fire magic by 1 point per caster's fire magic skill. Duration is an hour per skill point. Expert resistance increases is doubled, master resistance increases is tripled, and grandmaster resistance increases quadrupled. Fire aura, this is new. Spell point cost 4. Causes a weapon with no special abilities to burn with magic fire, gives the weapon off fire ability. Example, Trident of Fire. Duration is an hour per caster's fire magic skill. Expert weapon gets off flame ability. Master weapon gets off Inferno's ability. Grandmaster weapon gets permanent off Inferno's ability. This is interesting. This is still just a normal level spell. The expert level spells, so it's obvious that the spells are now categorized into the different. That was not really the case in the previous game. The expert level spells, haste reduces recovery time per party actions. Duration is an hour plus 1 minute per point of caster's fire magic skill. Party will be weak for 6 hours after the spells were off. Master gives you 1 hour plus 3 minutes per skill point. Grandmaster gives you 1 hour plus 4 minutes per skill point. So it lasts longer basically. Fireball. At an expert level, launches a fireball at a single target that hits and then explodes to damage anyone nearby, including your party if it's too close. Damage is 1 to 6 points per point of caster's fire magic skill. Master gets you a faster recovery rate. Grandmaster gives you the fastest recovery rate. And then there's the fire spike, which was not in the game previously. Drops a fire spike on the ground that waits to explode until a creature passes nearby. A triggered bomb. They remain until triggered or until your party leaves the map. A maximum of 5 spikes can be dropped at any time. Damage is 1 to 6 per point of caster fire magic skill. In the master level, 7 spikes can be dropped. Damage is 1 to 8 per skill points. And in the grandmaster, 9 spikes are dropped. Damage is 1 to 10. I really wish they would reduce this. I would much rather have in the grandmaster that the damage is 3 to 7 than that it's 1 to 10. The variant here is crazy. If you have 12 skill points, the variant is from 12 up to 120. Well, master level spells, Immolation. This wasn't in the previous game either. Surround your party with a very hot fire that is only harmful to others. Fire lasts 1 minute per point of caster's fire magic skill. Damage is 1 to 6 per skill point. Grandmaster duration is increased to 10 minutes per skill point. Interesting. So long-lasting, burning magical fire. There's the meteor shower, which we know very well. Summons a barrage of flaming rocks that strike in a large radius around your target. 16 rocks are summoned, each doing 1 to 8 damage per point of caster's fire magic skill. Only works outdoors. Grandmaster gets faster recovery. 20 rocks are summoned. Inferno, a spell we know as well, burns everyone in sight, including party, for 12 damage plus 1 per point of caster's fire magic skill. Only works indoors. Gets you faster recovery with the Grandmaster skill. And there's one Grandmaster level spell, which is Incinerate. which we know as well does massive fire damage to a single target. Damage is 15 plus 1 to 15 per point of caster's fire magic skill. It seems they revamped a great number of things to make a little bit more sense in the magic area in this game. Air magic, normal level spells, Wizard Eye causes automatic reveal location of creatures. Duration is an hour per point of caster's air magic skill. Expert gives you a location of treasure is shown. Master gives you other points of interest are indicated. And Grandmaster gets you a casting cost of 0. That's interesting. Featherfall, spell point cost 2, normal slows your party rate of descent, doesn't take damage from falls. Duration is 5 minutes per point of caster's air magic skill. Expert gives you a duration of 10 minutes. A Master gives you an hour per skill point. Grandmaster gives you a faster recovery rate. Air resistance, at a spell cost of 3, increases all your character's resistance to air magic by 1 per point of caster's air magic skill. Duration is an hour per skill point. Expert gives you doubled resistance, Master gives you tripled resistance, and Grandmaster gives you quadrupled resistance. And then Sparks fires, spell point cost 4, fires 3 small bolts of lightning which bounce around until they hit something or dissipate. Each spark does 2 points of damage plus 1 per caster's air magic skill. Expert gives you faster recovery and 5 sparks. Master gives you even faster recovery and 7 sparks. Grandmaster gives you the fastest recovery and 9 spark. Expert level spells, the jump spell. Your party leaps forward 60 feet, taking no damage from the jump. You must use the forward arrow key or your party will leap straight up. Crisscross would like this spell. Master gives you faster recovery, Grandmaster gives you even faster recovery. This is a useful spell. Shield slows down incoming missiles like rocks and arrows, so they only do half damage if they hit. Duration is an hour plus 5 minutes per point of caster's air magic skill. Master gives you an hour plus 15 minutes per skill point. Grandmaster gives you an hour plus an hour per skill point. Essentially, it lasts for the duration of the combat. Lightning bolt. Expert fires a bolt of lightning at a single target. Damage is 1 to 8 points per point of caster's air magic skill. Master gives you faster recovery and Grandmaster gives you even faster recovery. And there's some master level spells as well. Invisibility makes the party invisible to creatures. Duration is 10 minutes per point of caster's air magic skill. If the party speaks or attacks, the spell is broken. Invisibility cannot be cast when hostile creatures are nearby. Grandmaster's duration is an hour per skill point. So this is a sneakiness spell. Don't underestimate the sneakiness. Implosion creates a thump to clap implosion around a single target by destroying its surrounding air. Damage is 10 points plus 1 to 10 per point of caster's air magic skill. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery. And there's fly. Your party can fly for a duration of a spell, which is an hour per point of caster's air magic skills. For every 5 minutes the party is in the air. Additional spell point is drained from the caster. And at the Grandmaster level, no additional spell point drain. Cool. And there is a single Grandmaster level spell, which is the Starburst spell. Calls 20 stars from the heavens, which smite and burn creatures in a large area around the target creature, each star doing 20 points of damage plus 1 per point of caster's air magic skill, and only works outdoors. And there's the water magic spells. There's the awaken spell, awakens party from normal resting sleep and will awaken them from magical sleep if they've been asleep for a period of time, less than 3 minutes per point of caster's water magic skill. Expert works for an hour per skill point and Master works for a day per skill point. Poison spray sprays a spray of poison at creatures in front of the party. Damages 2 points plus 1 to 2 per point of caster's water magic skill. Expert gives you faster recovery, fires 3 shots of poison. Master gives you faster recovery and fires 5 shots, and Grandmaster gives you fastest recovery and fires 7 of them. Water resistance increases all of your character's resistance to mortal magic by 1 point per the caster's water magic skill. Duration is an hour per skill point. Expert gives you doubled resistance. Master gives you tripled resistance. Grandmaster gives you quadrupled resistance. And there's the Ice Bolt. Fires a bolt of ice at a single target. Spell always hits. Damage is 1 to 4 points per point of caster's water magic skill. Expert gives you faster recovery. Master gives you faster recovery. And Grandmaster gives you fastest recovery. And there's the expert level spells, which is the water walk, allows your party to walk on water without sinking, duration being 10 minutes per point of caster's water magic skill. One additional spell point is drained from caster every 20 minutes while in contact with water. Master gives you an hour of duration per skill point. Grandmaster gives you no spell point drain. Recharge item. At an expert level, recharges any magical item that uses charges each time the spell is cast. The item maximum number of charges is reduced by 50% minus 1% per point of caster's water magic skill. Master charge loss is 30% minus 1% per skill point, and Grandmaster charge loss is 20% minus 1% per skill point. So if you have 20 skill points and another Grandmaster, it's basically not reduced at all. But that requires you putting quite a few skill points into the ability. Acid Burst fires a jet of caustic acid at a single target. Damage is 9 plus 1 to 9 per point of caster's water magic skill. Master gives you faster recovery. Grandmaster gives you fastest recovery. And there's the master level spells. Enchant item enchants a normal item with magical powers. The chance of success is 10% per caster's water magic skill. Enchantments are of moderate strength, may not be cast on quest items. Grandmaster gives you stronger enchantments. Town Portal teleports party to a central fountain of any town that they visited. Chance of success is 10% per point of caster's water magic skill. The central fountain of any town they haven't visited. That's nice. It's not just a fixed set like it was in Game 6. Cannot be cast when hostile monsters are nearby. Grandmaster works when hostile monsters are near. This is interesting. This was not a limitation in the previous one. Ice Blast fires a ball of ice in the direction the caster is facing. The ball shatters when it hits something and launches 7 shards of ice in all directions except towards the caster. The shards ricochet until they hit something or melt. Each shard does 12 points of damage plus 1 to 3 per point of caster's water magic skill. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery rate. Ball shatters into 9 shards. And then there's a single Grandmaster level spell, which is the Lloyd's Beacon spell. Allows you to place a marker at a location that you would like to teleport the party back to. Cast a spell to set a beacon or to teleport to one previously placed. You may have up to 5 beacons at any one time. Beacons remain in place for 1 week per point of caster's water magic skill. Right. We've done with the elemental spells. We move on to the earth magic spells. Normal level 1 stun delivers a stunning blow which does no damage but knocks back the target monster and forces it to recover before performing any action. Expert gives you stronger effect. Master gives you stronger effect. Grandmaster gives you strongest effect. Doesn't really tell you very much, does it? Slow halves movement speed and doubles recovery time for a single target creature, duration being 3 minutes per point of caster's earth magic skill. Expert gives you 5 minutes per skill point. Master gives you creatures slow to a quarter of the regular speed, and Grandmaster gives you creatures slow to an eighth of the regular speed. Earth resistance increases all of the character's resistance to earth magic by 1 point per point of caster's earth magic skill. Duration being an hour per skill point. Expert gives you doubled resistance. Master gives you tripled resistance. Grandmaster gives you quadrupled resistance. And there's a deadly swarm spell. Summons a swarm of insects which bite and sting a single target creature, damage being 5 plus 1 to 3 per point of caster's earth magic skill. Expert giving you a faster recovery rate. Master giving you a faster recovery rate still, and Grandmaster giving you the fastest recovery rate. And there's the expert level spells. There is the stone skin, increases the armor class of a target character by 5 plus 1 point per point of caster's earth magic skill. Duration being 1 hour plus 5 minutes per skill point. Master gives you 1 hour plus 15 minutes per skill point, and Grandmaster gives you 1 hour plus an hour per skill point. Blades, spell point cost 8, fires a rotating metal blade at a single target. I don't think we used this once. I'm not sure if it was in, might have been in 6, but I don't think I ever used it. Damage is 1 to 9 per skill point. Master gives you faster recovery. Grandmaster gives you the fastest recovery. Stone to flesh. If a character is turned to stone, this spell will turn them back to flesh if it is cast in time. Works if character has been stoned less than 1 hour per point of caster's earth magic skill. Master gives you a day per skill point. Grandmaster gives you no time limit. That's the master level spells. Rock Blast releases the magical stone into the world, which rolls and bounces around. When it hits a creature that comes to rest, it explodes, doing 1 to 8 points of damage per point of caster's earth magic skill. If the party is nearby, its members will take damage. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery rate. Telekinesis allows you to manipulate objects at a distance. Among other things, you may open doors, get items, and open chests. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery. And there's Death Blossom fires a magical stone into the air, which explodes into shards. Damage is 20 points plus 1 point per caster's earth magic skill. Only be cast outdoors. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery rates. Damage is equal to 20 plus 2 per skill point. And there's a single Grandmaster level spell, which is the Mass Distortion spell. Enormously increase the weight of a target creature, causing it massive internal damage. Damage is 25% of monster's health plus 2% per point of caster's earth magic skill. There's the Spirit Magic Detect Live. Allows you to see the health points of opponents as an exact number when you right click on them. Duration being 10 minutes per point of caster's Spirit Magic skill. Expert gives you duration of 30 minutes per skill point. Master gives you duration of 1 hour per skill point. And Grandmaster gives currently active opponent spells are also displayed. Plus, increases targets character's chance to hit opponents with hand-to-hand and missile attacks. Bonus to hit is 5. Plus 1 per point of caster's Spirit Magic skill. Duration being 1 hour plus 5 minutes per skill point. Expert affects entire party. That's very useful. Used to be individual. Master duration is 1 hour plus 50 minutes per skill point, and Grandmaster gives you 1 hour plus 1 hour per skill point. Fate. If cast on a character's chance to hit is increased. If cast on a monster's chance to hit is decreased. Bonus or penalty is 20 plus 1 per caster's Spirit Magic skill. Duration being 5 minutes or until target attacks. Bonus or penalty is on the expert level is 20 plus 2 per skill point. Master gives you a penalty of 20 plus 4 per skill point. And Grandmaster gives you a bonus or penalty of 20 plus 6 per skill point. This is more of a single blow kind of spell, whereas the Bless is more of a entire battle kind of spell. This could, however, turn out to be useful in some cases. Turn of Dead causes all visible undead creatures to flee for the duration of a spell, which is 3 minutes plus 1 minute per point of caster's Spirit Magic skill. Expert gives you 3 minutes plus 3 minutes per skill point. Master gives you 3 minutes plus 5 minutes per skill point. And Grandmaster gives you a faster recovery rate. And there's the expert level spells. Remove curse. If cast in time, removes the effect of curses affecting a character. Works if a character has been cursed for less than 1 hour per point of caster's Spirit Magic skill. Master works for 1 day per skill point, and Grandmaster has no time limit. Preservation. By more tightly binding a character's soul to his or her body, the spell provides complete protection against instant death and eradication spells. Super annoying in game number 6. The Finger of Death and the eradication spells that the monsters cast, which even if you were a very high level, was almost impossible to avoid, even with protection from magic and so on cast. It also delays death due to massive hit point loss. The character will instead become unconscious. If hit points are still too low and the spell wears off, a gravely wounded character will die. Duration is 1 hour plus 5 minutes per point of caster's Spirit Magic skill. In the master level, it works on the entire party, and in the Grandmaster, it gives you 1 hour plus 50 minutes per skill point. Heroism increases the damage party members do on an successful attack by 5 plus 1 point per Hey there, Oxerat, welcome in. Yeah, we're just reading through the manual and probably creating the party to get to prepare to get started tomorrow. As the usual Shelton Saturday stream tomorrow. Starting on game number 7. We finally completed 6 last stream. Increases the damage party members do on a successful attack by 5 plus 1 per point of caster spirit magic skill. Duration is an hour plus 5 minutes per skill point. Master gives you a duration of an hour plus 50 minutes per skill point. Grandmaster gives you an hour plus an hour per skill point. Onto the master level spells. Spirit Lash. This spell damages a target creature by attempting to weaken the link between its body and soul. This is a new spell. Damages 10 plus 2 to 8 per point of caster spirit magic skill. The creature must be very close for the spell to work. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery. This might be a useful attack spell at the clerical level. Raise Dead. If casting time raises a dead character back to life, works if character has been dead for less than 1 day. Per point of caster spirit magic skill, raised characters will be weak. Grandmaster gives you no time limit. Stay alive. Yeah, they make more sense. I completely agree with that. And the early charts in the manual, which give you the various skill levels and how they relate to different characters and so on, are much better organized and documented than they were in game number 6. That makes a lot more sense to me. A lot of this. It's like a more refined version of game number 6. Creates a pool of hit points and then distributes them equally among your characters. Pool size is equal to the total number of hit points of all party members plus 3 points of caster spirit magic skill. The Grandmaster, it gives you a pool size of total hit points plus 4 per skill point. This spell became very useful in the game. I probably should have used it earlier because makes it much easier to use the healing spells, because often when you have a single character that's been attacked and is low on hit points, it can be very difficult to restore. But if you use this spell to even out the hit points, it's much easier to because you can then apply the healing equally to all characters. And of course you have the Grandmaster level spell, which is the resurrection spell, which brings a character back to life after their body has been destroyed by the eradication spell. The resurrected characters will be weak. Spellcaster takes a long time to recover, but this is speeded by increased spirit magic skill. The final of the clerical magics, the mind magic, remove fear. If casting time removes effect of fear on the target character, works if the character has been affected by fear for less than 3 minutes per point of caster's mind magic skill. Expert gives you an hour per skill point. Master works for a day per skill point. Grandmaster gives you no time limit. Mind Blast. Use this a bit. Fires a bolt of mental force at a single target, causing 3 points of damage plus 1 to 3 per point of caster's mind magic skill. Expert gives you faster recovery. Master faster recovery still, and Grandmaster fastest recovery. I think the Spirit Lash might also be a clerical attacking spell. There really weren't that many in game number 6. Very few spells on the clerical level that actually did any sort of real damage. Mind Resistance increases all your character's resistance to mind magic by 1 point per caster of mind magic skill, duration being an hour per skill point. Resistance is doubled at an expert level, tripled at the master level, and quadrupled at the grandmaster level. Telepathy, caster reads target's mind to find out what items and how much gold it possesses. Interesting. Expert gives you a faster recovery rate, Master gives you a faster recovery rate, and Grandmaster gives you the fastest recovery rate at the cost of 0 spell points, so you can basically just cast it for free. That's nice. Expert level spells. Charm removes any hostile feelings a target creature has for the party. Effect of the spell is removed if the creature takes any damage, duration being 5 minutes per point of caster's mind magic skill. Master gives you 10 minutes per skill point. Grandmaster gives you that the spell lasts until the party leaves the map. This can be useful if you accidentally harm a civilian, for example, which has happened to us multiple times. Cure paralysis. If casting time cures effect of paralysis on a target character, works if the character has been paralyzed for less than an hour per point of caster's mind magic skill. Master gives you a day per skill point, and Grandmaster removes the time limit. Berserk has returned, causes target creature to go mad with battle lust and attack the nearest creature, duration being 5 minutes per point of caster's mind magic skill. Master gives you a duration of 10 minutes, and Grandmaster gives you that the effects last until the party leaves the map. Nice. The master level spells, the mass fear all creatures within sight flee from the party while the spell lasts, duration being 3 minutes plus 5 minutes per point of caster's mind magic skill, does not affect undead creatures. Grandmaster gives you 5 minutes per skill point. Cure Insanity, if casting time removes effects of Insanity on a target character, works for a day per point of caster's mind magic skill. Grandmaster removes the time limit. Psychic Shock, which we used quite a bit, delivers a powerful attack directly at the mind of a target creature. Damage is 12 points plus 1 to 12 per point of caster's mind magic skill. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery. A lot of monsters were immune to this, but not all, and it was one of very few high damage clerical spells that we could use. And then there's a single Grandmaster spell, Enslave. Caster takes control of a target creature mines for 10 minutes per point of caster's mind magic skill. Affected creature will fight monsters hostile to the party. The spell is not broken if the party delivers damage to the creature. It has no effect on undead creatures. This is also potentially useful. I'm not done with the clericals, though there's body magic still. The normal level spells, the Cure Weakness, if casting time removes effect of weakness on a target character, works if the target character has been afflicted by weakness for less than 3 minutes per point of caster's body magic skill. Expert gives you an hour per skill point. Master works for a day per skill point. Grandmaster removes the time limit. Heal restores lost hit points to a single target. Damage here is 5 points plus 2 per point of caster's body magic skill. Expert gives you 5 plus 3 per skill point. Master gives you 5 plus 4 per skill point. And Grandmaster gives you 5 plus 5. Body resistance increases all of your character's resistance to body magic by 1 per point of caster's body magic skill. There are more resistance spells for sure, probably why there are more icons. Duration is an hour per skill point. Expert gives you double resistance. Master gives you triple resistance. Grandmaster gives you quadruple resistance. Harm inflicts magical damage directly on a target creature, damage being 8 plus 1 to 2 per point of caster's body magic skills. Expert gives you faster recovery, so does Master, and Grandmaster gives you the fastest recovery. There's the expert level spells, the regeneration spell. Target character heals slowly over time while the spell is active. Duration is an hour per point of caster's body magic skill. Master heals more quickly over time, and Grandmaster heals the quickest over time. This is potentially a useful spell when you're just walking around, slowly regenerating so you don't have to rest. Cure Poison. If casting time cures the effect of a poison on a character, works if a target character has been poisoned for less than an hour per point of casted body magic skill. Master gives you a day per skill point. Grandmaster removes the time limit. Hammer Hands enhances the skill of an unarmed combatant, allowing case of strikes to land more precisely against an opponent's weak points. Damage of these attacks is equal to the character's unarmed attack. Master gives you faster recovery. Grandmaster gives you spell effects entire party. The unarmed bit in this game is somewhat amusing to me. I might take a look at trying to pull that off with one of the magical casters in the game. Yeah, I like the spells. The spells make a lot more sense to me than the spells did in the game number 6. And, additionally, I think the skills are better organized and make more sense in this game, and they're better documented as well. For the master level spells, Cure Disease. If casting time removes the effect of disease on a target character, works if the character has been diseased for less than a day per point of caster's body magic skill. Grandmaster removes the time limit. Protection from magic grants entire party immunity to attack effects that cause poisoning, disease, stoning, paralysis, and weakness. Spell will negate one such attack per point of caster's body magic skill. Grandmaster gives you immunity to death-causing effects. Yeah. Yeah, the ability to have the merchant sell at face value at the Grandmaster level is enough for me. So that's fine. The real problem with the other was that you really needed light magic to be able to sell at any sort of value, and even at expert level, you didn't get face value. And, so the combination of the spells and the skills seem to be better balanced in this game. The Grandmaster level spells. The Flying Fist. We left the Flying Fist fires a powerful magical force at a single target. Damage delivered being 30 plus 1.5 per point of caster's body magic skill. Grandmaster gives you faster recovery. And the Grandmaster level spell is the Power Cure. Restores the lost hit points of all party members at once. Hit points restored being 10 plus 5 per point of caster's body magic skill. Yeah, in some ways it seems like an experimental. Yeah, that's absolutely no problem. I have no problem with chatting while we're doing this. It's very boring and repetitive, just leading the manual. It seems to be somewhat of a testing ground, but it is also a massive and huge game, and at some points felt like it was really too big. Some of the dungeons felt just unnecessarily large and filled with endless amount of repetitive monsters. There were definitely very cool elements from it as well, and overall I enjoyed playing it, but it did feel a little bit repetitive at times. The light magic spells, the normal ones, the light bolt fires a bolt of light at a single target, damage being 1 to 4 per point of caster's light magic skills. Undead creatures take double damage. Expert gives you faster recovery. Master give you faster recovery, and Grandmaster giving you fastest recovery. Yeah, some of the maps and with the various levels, they were also very hard to decipher sometimes when you had multiple levels of the same map and you have multiple floors. It was almost impossible to read the map. That became in a large dungeon on multiple floors. That became very, very difficult to use. So you basically had to learn most of the dungeon. Yeah, they didn't really map very well into the 3D map. Yeah, right. That makes sense. Destroy undead. Calls upon the power of heaven to undo the magic. Which animates an undead target creature. Damage being 1 to 16 per point of catcher's light magic skill. Only works on undead creatures. Gives you faster recovery rate at expert level, faster recovery rate at master level, and fastest recovery rate at the Grandmaster level. Dispel magic removes spell effects from all creatures within sight of the party. Recovery time being reduced by caster's light magic skill. Expert gives you faster recovery. Master gives you faster recovery. Grandmaster gives you fastest recovery. Paralyze temporarily prevents a target creature from attacking or moving. Duration being 3 minutes per point of caster's light magic skill. Paralyzed creatures may be attacked without breaking the spell. Expert gives you faster recovery. Master gives you faster recovery. Grandmaster gives you fastest recovery. The expert level spells summon elemental. Summons a lesser light elemental. Fight for the party, which will remain until it is killed or the spell dissipates. Duration being 5 minutes per skill point. Caster may only have one elemental summoned at any time. Master gives you 15 minutes per skill point. Caster may summon up to 3 elementals. Grandmaster gives you summons a greater light elemental. Caster may summon up to 5. So this is potentially a very useful expert level spell. This is also useful. We use this multiple times. Day of the Gods increases all your character's attributes by 10 plus a bonus of 3 times the caster's light magic skill. Individual spells take effect as if casted 3 times caster's light magic spell. Master gives you a spell casted 4 times skill points. Grandmaster gives you spells that casted 5 times skill level. Nice. And it's the master level spells. Prismatic Light delivers 25 points of damage plus 1 point per point of caster's light magic skill to all creatures in sight. Cannot be cast outdoors, faster recovery rate. And there's the Day of Protection spell. Simultaneously cast protection from magic, the air, body, earth, fire, mind and water resistance spells plus Featherfall and Wizard Eye on all your characters. Spells are casted 4 times, caster's light magic skill. Grandmaster gives you spells are casted 5 times skill level. Hour of Power simultaneously casts Haste, Heroism, Shield, Stone Skin and Bless on all your characters at 4 times caster's light magic skill. Grandmaster gives you spells are cast at 5 times skill level. Yeah, I used almost exclusively light magic in game number 6 until the very end. Sunray focuses the rays of the sun on a single target, damage being 20 plus 1 to 20 per point of caster's light magic skills. Only works outdoors, low recovery rate. Grandmaster gives you moderate recovery rate. And then you have the ultimate one, Divine Intervention. Heals the party of all damage, restores lost spell points or moves all at worst conditions. May only be cast 3 times a day and ages caster 10 years. Recovery time is shortened with higher levels of light magic skills. This spell is different now than it was in game number 6, where it could only be casted during certain hours of the day, but this ages you quite a bit, so you need some way of reversing that properly through alchemy. So it's something that you can go to as a last resort. Yeah, the alchemy skill seems like a useful skill and something that we should probably study. Dark magic spells, the normal ones. Reanimate creates a zombie out of a lifeless target creature. Zombie will have 20 hit points per point of caster's dark magic skill and will fight against creatures hostile to the party until it is re-slain or until the party leaves the map. At the expert level you get 30 hit points per skill point. The master level you get 40 hit points per skill point. At the grandmaster level you get 50 hit points per skill point. The toxic cloud, the poisonous cloud, forms in front of the caster and slowly drifts away until it hits something, damage being 25 plus 1 to 10 per point of caster's dark magic spell. Expert gives you a faster recovery rate, as does master, and the grandmaster gives you the fastest recovery rate. Then you have the vampiric weapon, and chance a weapon with vampiric ability. Damage inflicted on creatures struck by the weapon is given to its wielder as an extra hit points up to his or her normal hit point maximum. Enchantments last for an hour per point of caster's dark magic skill. Expert and master giving you a faster recovery rate, and grandmaster giving you the fastest one. Interesting. Shrinking Ray reduces the size of a target monster. Shrunk monsters deal only half of its normal damage, duration being 5 minutes per point of caster's dark magic skills. Expert gives you 1/3 normal damage, master gives you 1/4 normal damage, and grandmaster gives you a group of monsters you can cast this on. Yeah, these are very good. Some of these spells are both good for protection and for attack. The expert level spells. The shrap metal fires a blast of hot jacket metal in front of the caster that damages any creature that gets in its way. 5 metal fragments do damage equal to 6 plus 1 to 6 per point of caster's dark magic skill. Master giving you a faster recovery rate and 7 fragments. Grandmaster giving you the fastest recovery rate and up to 9 fragments. Control Undead takes on control of an undead creature's mind while the spell lasts. Creature will attack monsters hostile to the party, duration being 3 minutes per point of caster's dark magic skill. Spell is not broken if the party attacks the controlled creature. Master gives you faster recovery rate, duration being 5 minutes per skill point. Grandmaster gives you the fastest recovery and spell lasting until the party leaves the map. This is a cool spell. Pain Reflection. This spell is cast on a target character. If a creature attacks and damages the character, it receives damage equal to the amount delivered. Duration of the effect being an hour plus 5 minutes per point of caster's dark magic skill. Master means it affects the entire party. Grandmaster gives you a duration of an hour plus 50 minutes per skill point. This is also a very cool spell. Sacrifice. This spell slays a single NPC party hireling. The caster's spell and hit points are restored to a maximum, or advanced and magical aging effects are removed. Casting this spell will greatly reduce the party's reputation and has a slow recovery rate. Grandmaster gives you a moderate recovery rate. This is an evil spell. So you hire someone to bring them along to kill them to restore your own health and magical skills. It's cruel and unusual, but might turn out to be useful. Dragon Breath. The caster exhales a cloud of toxic vapors that target a single monster and damages all nearby creatures, damage being 1 to 25 per point of caster's dark magic skill with a slow recovery rate. Grandmaster gives you a moderate recovery rate. Then you have Armageddon. This spell inflicts massive damage to all creatures on the map, including the party, damage delivered being 50 plus 1 per point of caster's dark magic skill. It can only be cast 3 times a day and only outdoors, but with a Grandmaster can be cast 4 times a day. Interesting. And the final Dark Magic Grandmaster level spell, which is the Soul Drinker. This spell sucks life from all creatures in sight and transfers their life energy to the party in the form of hit points. The points are distributed evenly among the party members. Damage and healing is 25 plus 1 to 8 per point of caster's dark magic skill. This is a good spell. The appendices are here. Default keyboard controls, we've sort of gone over all of these so far. They're basically the same as they were in the previous game, except the history is sort of new, which is accessed by the age. All of this is pretty much unknown. You have the Arethian alphabet here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. J, K, L, M. We're missing a letter here. Might be missing a letter here. Okay, that's roughly it. And there's the map. Map of Aretha. Do you know where we start the game? How's that? Erotica for a very select few. You start on Emerald Island. Over here. Okay. So we'll start relatively isolated. Okay. This seems like a similarly large area to Might and Magic 6, but perhaps with slightly fewer dungeons in it. But, looking at the map of previous Might and Magic games, this is just more of the same, which we like. And there's the quick reference card. which is essentially just a repeat of what we already know, but might come in handy. Let's read this over quickly just to see if there's something that I spot. Obviously, your party will begin on the dock of Emerald Isle with a small amount of gold and few items. Don't forget to equip your party with their starting equipment and to have magic. Using characters study their initial spells. You may also notice that there is a docent, your party's first NPC. She is full of useful information. Right. Okay, there's nothing more on this quick reference page that we don't already know. There's some combat tips here. In your travels you will encounter numerous hostile people and creatures. You must be prepared to defend yourself when diplomacy fails, which it often does. Here are a few tips for combat. Make sure that each character has the best weapon and armor shield equipped. The armor is in your backpack, it won't do you any good. Large battles are much easier to handle in turn-based mode. Press enter as soon as you see an enemy creature to scope out the terrain and the odds. Count the number of creatures you're facing and check their hit points by right-clicking. Use ranged weapons and spell to weaken enemies from a distance. Keep track of how damaged your party members are. If someone's health drops to 50% or less, heal them. If your party seems like it might lose the fight, run. Make sure each spellcaster has the more useful spell set as a quick spell. You may need to change this depending on where or what you're fighting. To change the quick spell, go to spellbook, select the spell and click the set spell button. Certain conditions such as weakness or disease can adversely affect your characters. Make sure you keep your conditions good as much as possible. Use a temple for a failsafe way to rid yourself of negative conditions. D1 to the cost for healing is party based on how long you've been afflicted. Right. What I was trying to put together while we were reading the rather excellent manual, must be said, was how we scroll up just a little bit over the 60 pages of this massive manual. There are two worries that I have. The party that I would like to go forward with is a paladin, a druid, a sorcerer, and a cleric. Problem number one with that combination is the fact that none of these characters can even learn the basics of disarm trap, which might be an issue. Depends on whether we can find a hireling that is capable of doing that at an expert or master level, which we could then just take along, and that will no longer be an issue. So that's my biggest worry with that combination. Then you have the perception skill, and while only the archer can be a grandmaster at the perception skill, the cleric and the druid and the sorcerer can all be experts. So I don't see that as much of a problem. We will use the cleric as the merchant, and the ranger has the benefit of being having the ability to be an expert at learning, while the cleric, sorcerer, and druid can all just reach the master level. So we will probably go there. A monk does have the ability to become a grandmaster, so he would pick up a lot of experience which could come in handy. So but, he's not quite as skilled of a fighter, although he can become a general grandmaster at the staff, which would give him better protection. The monk is interesting in many ways. He's obviously a master of this. Can become a grandmaster of the unarmed and initiative, and he can certainly cast a decent amount of clerical spells. I still think I'm going with a paladin though. And there's the meditation. The druid being able to reach the grandmaster stage of the meditation is really why I'm looking pretty heavily into the druid. Because while the druid can only be a master of most of these, he can still be a master of all of them. Whereas the ranger can only be an expert, and that severely limits the amount of spells they can cast, and the ranger is also severely limited in the amount of spell points they actually have. They start with 0, whereas the druid is already a pretty powerful caster and can cast a wide variety of different spells, and will be able to gain a lot of different of spell points, which is certainly useful. Now, the sorcerer will have to become the grandmaster of identification. The paladin will become the repair person, just based on this chart. And that means that the sorcerer will have to be both a grandmaster of identify item and monster, so we will have to spend quite a few of her spell points on that particular skill. Having said that, we don't need to give her any shield points, so that will probably equal out. I'm not interested in the stealing stuff, but in the alchemy stuff we will probably have to might have to give that skill to the druid. Yeah, I need to finish that up. I'm slightly worried that we'll run out of skill points for the druid, but maybe we'll do what we did with the other game and just pile all of the additional skill points that we can add with something like a horseshoe onto the druid. I think I'm pretty set on what I'm actually going to do in terms of character creation, so I think I might start up the game, create a party and create the first save, and then we'll park the game and return to it tomorrow. I somewhat wonder if I have to set any particular compatibility settings for right. It's the same as with game number 6. It needs to be set in compatibility for reduced color mode, because it can't run in a window unless it's set to 16-bit. It's not much of an issue. Let's see. I knew this would require. I've set it to Windows 7 compatibility. And manually adjusted this a little bit. Let's see. See what we can actually do here. I might set it to software-based 3D. Yeah, I have this okay, it launches fine. If I don't set it to reduced color mode. If I set it to reduced color mode, it struggles. I got around that now. See what happens if I launch it manually now. It's sort of working now. Not quite. Okay, so if I click it now, remove this option, what happens then? This is gonna be fun, isn't it? trying to get the game to launch properly in a reduced color mode while not freaking out. Works okay full screen, but as soon as I move it onto a window to display, the colors look all out of whack. It's like the 16-bit compatibility setting doesn't actually work. It is the GOG version of the game. It already has, should have almost all of the patches applied to it. I'm trying the various different compatibility modes. Okay, this works. This works. This seems to work, okay. So this looks okay. So let me set this properly. Seems to work in Windows Vista mode. Let me see. Where's the chat? Where did the chat go? There's the chat. No, it's a much newer game than that. So it's a Vista. I have it in Vista compatibility mode for now. It doesn't seem to work in the XP compatibility mode. It doesn't seem to work in the Windows 7 one either, which is what I used for game number 6. Slight difference, it seems, between the slight difference between how it's done. But I don't think that will actually be much of an issue. It's working on this screen. Let's see if we can't get it working on this screen as well. Sort of working, at least. We can see the game. And I assume you can hear the music as well. So that's halfway there. me has the same issue as the previous game, that the audio doesn't work unless you click into the window. So if the window isn't clicked, you can't hear the audio. I can see it better now. Okay. You aren't very pretty.
How about me? I can do it.
Pick me. I'll be helpful.
I'd say this is loud. Very, 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 very loud.
Pick me. Pick me.
I won't let you down.
How about me?
Right here.
Come on, pick me.
Take me. Oh, come on. Pick me.
Come on.
Choose me. Pick me for your pick me. Don't get me.
Please, pick me.
Yeah, it did. I'm reducing the volume.
Choose me. Pick me. You want to ride high? Ride.
Choose me.
I think it's improving a little bit.
High? Ride with me.
Choose. You have to choose.
You want to ride high? Ride with me. Sally ho. Choose me.
I am the one you need. Please.
Don't get pick me. Choose. Come on. Hey. Oh, come on. Take me.
Come on, pick
Pick me.
me.
You need a strong warrior like myself.
You have. I'm the one you want. Don't get me killed. I'm the one you want.
Might have something to do with the way it's being captured. Does seem. I'm trying to get it balanced. Who's this? It's very hard to hear with the audio. Doesn't sound nearly as staticky as it did. The music is one thing, the sound effects are always much louder.
You want to ride high? Ride with Sally ho.
But this seems.
Don't pick me. Pick me. Come on. Pick me. Oh, come on. Please.
Come on, pick me.
I won't let you down.
Come on, pick me.
Take me. Pick me for your pick me. Don't get.
I am the one you
Choose me. Sally ho. I'm your man.
I'm the one you want.
You want to pick me? Choose me.
Please, pick me.
I like him. I like him.
Come on, pick me.
Pick me.
Come, please, pick me.
I'm your man.
This is not a thief, this is a druid.
Pick me. What could go wrong? Pick me for your part. Choose me.
What was her name again? Cleric.
How about me?
Pick me. What could go? Pick me.
I'm your man. Sally ho. I'm your man.
There's a little bit of static in the background somewhere. Less renounced. Never perfect, but less renounced. Let's see. Prior attack.
Pick me for your party. Pick me.
Yeah, sure, I'll pick me. Okay. I went through the various character classes earlier, and I came to the conclusion that probably picking a human is probably the right choice for all of them, based on the various different factors that you have. If we were creating a pure fighter, it would probably be easiest to just go with a different class, but I think this might be the correct choice. We have 50 points to distribute. Obviously, we want this to be high. And for her, we want both of these to be high. Probably can't quite bring it to where we want it, but this is roughly what we want. This is what we want. This is what we want. Then we want the endurance to be somewhere in this neighborhood. So they don't have 2 hit points. Might take 1 point away here. Spend it here. Tough business this. Maybe if we settle for 14. Sort of balance this out a little bit. Still really should hike up his personality a bit. Yeah, I'm trying to even this out a little bit, because chances are it will our boosts will mostly become we'll fix this anyway, but trying to bring at least the primary statistics to an 18, or if there are 2 primary statistics, trying to bring them at least to something like a 14 trying to make sure that they all have a decent endurance to start with, a decent degree of accuracy, some decent level of speed, and some luck as well. I think we're roughly there. Wondering if I should hike this down by 1 and then be able to hike this up just a little bit. Or do this as well, because she will have by far the fewest hit points. Yeah, we could take some away here. I already removed the intellect from him, but I can take his as well. Will give us 16 for the secondary abilities, which is nice. Still have 2 points left. We could spend them on endurance. Or, which is probably a little bit smarter, I'd give her a little bit more might. She will have to fight at least some melee combat. That's going to be required, even if she's not much of a fighter. Maybe it's not smart though. Maybe this is a better way to spend it. Hit points in the end matter quite a bit in this game. I'll give him 14. She will have most of them anyway. I think this is pretty much it. He gets to have it's a question of divvying up skills. Yeah, she's gonna need to be pumped. She's going to be asked to do quite a bit. Eventually they will all be, anyway. Let's see. What did we decide here? The identify needs to lie with a sorcerer. And that's a skill we will give her right away. And so yes, the staff, the fire magic, the identify monster. And the identify object. These are both highly useful skills. The cleric, however, oops. Cleric, however, He's eventually going to become the merchant. We might skip the identify monster for now and get a leather skill. That at least gives her some sort of protection. The druid. Druid. Needs the meditation skill. That's highly useful. And the leather skill. A paladin. Needs repair. He doesn't have any armor skills at the moment. Question is, what are we spending it on? What's the most useful? You of course learn a great number of additional skills, but perhaps the leather skill is the most useful here. At least gives us a way to protect ourselves. She does have the ability to pick up the learning skill. They all do, in fact. No, she doesn't, he does. It was difficult picking that skill up in the game number 6. It came along pretty late in the game. So there's some part of me that just wants to instill that light away, because we might be able to pick up the leather skill very early on in the game, whereas the learning skills perhaps not so much. Since they're available here. It does, but it's still valuable. I'm guessing we can pretty easily pick up the leather skill, whereas the other ones might be more useful. He already has the maze skill. I'm somewhat tempted, since he can become a grand master with a maze. He should probably pick up the sword skill. So I do like a good sword. He can't really become as good with a sword, but yeah, 10% bonus is a good bonus. I'm wondering with her as well whether we should. I'm counting on the leather skill being easily available here. I'm gonna go with the sword here. We need someone to be able to actually attack something. This is it. There's no turning back from this point. Okay.
Hear ye, hear ye. The Emerald Island scavenger hunt is about to begin. The list of objects has been given to all contestants. As you know, the winners of the contest will be awarded title to Castle Harmony and the surrounding lands. Be careful. Emerald Island can be dangerous. Last night, 3 contestants disappeared, and we are concerned for their safety. During the contest, please be on the lookout for our missing contestants. If you find a piece of equipment in the woods, return at once with the clue. It may save their lives. There have been rumors that some kind of monster is loose on the island and may be hiding in one of the caves. If you see a cave you are unfamiliar with, don't go into it. Send someone back to town and the guards will conduct a search for you. We don't want anyone else to get hurt. And one more thing. We have... sorry. We have reports that the monster may be a dragon. If you see it, run for your lives.
Lovely. Wow. That's a lot of spinning. You probably adjust that a little bit.
Thank you very much.
Whee! Seems smooth. Welcome to Emerald Island. I will be your guide during your stay here. From time to time, I will appear to tell you about something you're about to see, to help you understand your new world. If you're tired of my messages, I won't be offended if you do. Just click on my portrait to talk to me. Click on Tour of to silence me. Yeah. Fine. This is it. That's it. It's just me and you in here. I'm assuming everyone else gave up and headed right to bed. We'll just end this lovely little manual reading stream, and we'll pick this up tomorrow at 10 UTC. Start playing the game proper. And I'll probably see you then. And hopefully some others as well. Doubt Gleeser would have been very interested in this. My #1 Might and Magic fan. He's probably read through the manual multiple times himself. I wanted to get this over with so we could start the game proper tomorrow. I'll just end the stream. Thanks for coming in. I'll see you tomorrow night. Have an excellent rest of your night. Sleep well.